hand. One with your life, not behind the scenes, on the streets. The shadows broken, swept away, swept away, swept away. Run with your life, not behind the scenes, on the streets, the shadows broken. Downstairs, the animals are dancing. Trust your body and your head. streets. The shadows broken, swept away, swept away, swept away.
Woo-wee. What a day, guys, huh? We got a special session here for you today. My name's Rodrigo, and I'm going to be here with my friend Nic Chahine, lead trader from the Benzinga Options Inner Circle. Today was an amazing day in the chat room. I'll tell you, man, I was there all day. We laughed, we cried, everything, man. It's great to have that sort of bondage there. And from what I understand, Nic was saying that it looks like Wall Street bets might be back, right? So we're gonna go ahead and take care of all this stuff, guys. We're gonna talk about all this, um, education, trade ideas, all that sort of stuff. I want to welcome all you guys here. A couple of you folks in the chat that were here for Adrian, what up, dude? Philip, Pert, Ray K, Robert, Terry, what up? Thomas, good stuff. So we have a nice crowd here. Keep in mind, we're gonna go over tickers at the end. We're gonna go over tickers, but the whole session, we're gonna show you how we're making money out of this volatility today and overall how we do it. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen and degenerates, let's go ahead and bring on the man of the hour, Nic Chahine. Let's go.
Degenerates. Wow. Yeah, this was a degenerate day.
I mean, Nic, we were there, man. It's like, so I'm sweating, man. It's like my hand was still shaking at the end. But what a day, man! What a day, you know. Crazy.
You had a day. You had a day for sure. So here's the thing. I expected an up day yesterday. I expected some follow through today. This was ridiculous. That's not how you build a good base for a sustained rally. So I took a few bearish positions just to offset the longs I have. I booked a few longs. I sold some covered calls. If you don't know what that means, I basically am trimming, but I'm staying long for the long term because that was me saying I'm buying the dip. I don't care about Powell. I don't care about all the bullshit that's going on out there. Just stick to what you know. I know levels, I know charts, I know fundamentals of the companies I'm betting on, and they're paying. I don't like rallies that don't have a good solid foundation. You end up building a giant mountain on top of a very weak base, and then that's easy to topple. So we'll see what happens Tuesday. The last few days after long weekends in the US have not panned out right. Like Martin Luther King Day, we were off, the world wasn't, we came to a bad day. Same with what was it before that? Maybe Thanksgiving, same. But overall, I think if you shut off all the news, stocks should make a new all-time high. Nobody's saying that. I'm probably one of the only ones that are saying that, but it's doable.
Yeah, man. And just for you guys to know, basically, like today, I was with Nic in the chat room and, you know, he called it out. And I'm really happy that I didn't sell for a loss and I held on to my calls and I ended up making like $12,000 today. So I owe Nic a drink and a couple more things. So shout out to all the work you do, man, and all that stuff. So, but yeah, man,
appreciate it.
Let's get it going, man. I know we have a lot of stuff to get through here, Nic. And just today was such a roller coaster, man. Like you guys should try the chat room. Seriously.
Definitely. So I'm going to share my screen if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
Okay, let me see here. Whoops, basic. Okay. Am I sharing the right one? Yes, I am. This was the picture for today in case you missed it. You had to look hard to find, if you threw a dart, you'd be super unlucky if you hit a red line. Some reason Citigroup is the only red bank. What's up with that? I forgot to ask, somebody in the group was short AbbVie the other day. I wonder if they're still short AbbVie. Let's see how they panned out. Okay, so what are we doing today? What is the message that we promised today so I can stay on point?
Yeah, so I mean, overall, I mean, your the strategy overall that you use, not just with credit put spreads, but like overall in the chat room, Nic, you're helping people trade everything. Yeah.
Okay, so what we do every day is my goal is to try to keep us on target, that we're not trading willy-nilly, that we have a plan, that we're not reacting to what's going on, but we're acting and then reacting if something goes against us. That's a plan. If you give me a set of circumstances, I can plan around it. And I need to know what time frame I'm working with. So what works for me may not work for you, may not work for her. It all depends. Like I probably answer, I don't know, 500 questions a day. No joke. You can come into the chat room and you'll find out. the idea is I get a question, somebody throws a ticker. And I'll say, I always have to say, if they're new, they just throw a ticker. I'll say, what do you want me to do with that? And then they'll say, trying to get long. Okay, what's your time frame? But if somebody's been here for a while, they'll throw a ticker and say next week. Yeah, up. So I know immediately how to comment, because my comments for a ticker short term, like if they ask me, what do you think of the S&P? I'd say I'm bearish. They would think I'm bearish overall. No, I'm not. I just said we should make new all-time highs. I'm bearish for Tuesday, Wednesday because of what just happened. But I'm not overly short. So if I was bearish, I would have closed all my longs, and I didn't. I had a win in X, the letter X. So I let it run, but I sold some covered calls against it. So I'm not bearish. So time frame matters. So I try to keep us focused. Who's us? Thousands of people subscribe to my channel with Benzinga, which, by the way, I'm an engineer that figured this stuff out. I don't come from Wall Street, so I'm not going to speak like Wall Street people. You're not going to hear me see me use gamma and vega and all of that in my conversations at our level. We don't need it. We don't need. You could use it. You could learn it. You can specialize in it and get a little bit smarter. I don't think you need to. You can, and if you do, then come back and contribute. But we also have about 300 people. Today we were 290-ish in a room all day, every day. We're trying to find runs. Yesterday was epic. The day before that was excellent. Today, I didn't make epic moves, but boy, did people in the room make epic moves. Just listen to Rodrigo. He's not lying. So here, actually, this is today. This is Persia. Okay, so the help, by the way, I said stay focused, right? Persia mentioned earlier in the day, about 15 minutes before the close, actually 20 minutes before the close, mentioned that they owned an IWM call that was in the money. So I casually replied, don't let it expire in the money. If you don't know options, they had a position and price had exceeded it in their favor. So they had a win on their hand. It wasn't a problem. I said it would become a problem if they don't close it before time expires, because it expires today. And then you will get exercised. You're saying, so I mentioned it and I didn't hear anything back. So late in the day, I came back and I said, what about it? And they said, they won't let me close it. They're saying I'm over my limits of what I can do intraday. I said, I would ignore that message and I would close it, especially if it's your first offense, because otherwise you're going to end up owning the IWM shares on Tuesday morning. So, and that was her message. So I try to look out for everybody. And this is after the market closed, by the way. So we had been winding the day down. Here's fellow Jitster. They never said who they were. So anyway, they made 1,200%. And here's the kicker. Somebody called them on it. What do you mean? What are those trades that you made 1,200% on them? They called BS. I said, no, these are conversations that started yesterday and the day before yesterday. I said, get long. I said, I'm long the SPY. I'm long this. I'm long that. So people, 2 days ago, I said, I'm long Tesla. I think it can make a run to 800, maybe even 900 by next week or in the next 2 weeks. So I said, I'm taking a June lottery ticket in Tesla. If somebody took that, that's where the 1,200% came from. So they called BS and it was not BS. So this is the kind of thing that happens all day, every day. So this is, look, 286 people. That was not at the close. That was before the close. And, they all sit here. Not everybody contributes, but everybody should. She contributes. Linda, all day, active. I'm short this, I'm long that.
Ray in the chat says, I'm a new trader. I was in the chat room today. It was a great learning experience, Ray K. And just for those that don't believe me, look, this is how much I made on my trade today. I've been making good trades with Nick in the chat room. So it's real. We're making money in the chat room. No lie.
So this is earlier in the day, 263 people, different names. What would it? We discussed Dell and I went on a rant, cussed, used the F word today. Did I? I cussed. I don't know what F word. What
it's all
word
right, man.
I used, but
today we
cuss.
can curse. Today we can curse. Today is that kind of
I cussed. I was upset. Anyway, so what was this? Robert Gomez, new person, I think. Robert is new in the room. On your Tesla levels yesterday, I got the June 875 call for 26 cents. So they made, if they did 10, they made $1,000. So he's asking me, how do I like my coffee? And this is not just today and yesterday. This is an older one, I think from like 3 or 4 days ago. Dennis comes in, spy call. Oh, that was a good day. So we caught a run on the way down and on the way up and on the way down. So this person saying, thanks for the calls, 33%. Thanks for the puts, 212%. Those were epic days. Those were really good days. And even on the bad day, we had a good day. So what am I saying? I'm saying, don't get too involved and roped into what you see on CNBC and what you hear in the news. Oh, so-and-so missed their earnings estimates. Ignore all that junk. Did you know that Upstart, what's your impression about Upstart? I'll give you a second to remember what was the deal with Upstart. Let me show you the chart first of all. This drop, that was like 60%, wasn't it? Yeah, 60%, the drop of the stock. You would think they delivered a stinker of a report. They didn't. They grew sales 156%. Imagine that. They grew sales 156%. And this is what they do. Guess why? Because somebody thought something about something that isn't there yet that maybe can happen. What? Give the company credit. 60%. I bought the dip and I bought shares, straight up shares. I got in at 36, 35 and a half, 36, something like that. People in the room jumped in. By the time they got my message, they jumped in at like 29. So it got up to 50 something twice since then. If you sold calls here, covered calls, they died in your favor. You can sell calls again. Money, money. Why? Because we ignored the news. We followed the facts. The facts in this case are incredible. Look at the sales ramp, and they're not losing money. So I pulled up the financials of this company. I wasn't aware of everything inside the company. So we look at the financials, and it looks like the income statement, right? The total revenues, sales, growing like mad. I don't know if they bought anybody, but I don't care. Net income, it's now positive. So I go, okay, people can fudge the net income. Let's go. You can't fudge cash. Cash, right here, cash flow from their own operations. That is a number you can't fake. That's the money you need to operate. It's positive, 150 million. So they're not bleeding. So I go to the valuation, which everybody goes to. There's no valuation here except to say, look, it's got a PE. Well, that's crazy. But its price to sales, it's 4 for the quarter. So, I mean, for the trailing 12 months, I think they changed that format. Current. Yeah, what is current? They should say it. It's trailing 12 months. So the price to sales is pretty low, a lot lower than last year. Got cut in fourth. So there is nothing wrong fundamentally. There's just the fear of something happening. I said, guess what? It was $400 not too long ago. I'll buy it for 30, for 36. So we'll see what happens. I bought shares. I cannot remember the last time I bought shares. Actually, I do. It was Uber on just after the IPO. And so this was a good deal. But how did we get to that? We got into the chat room, we discussed it, and we jumped on board. So we discuss trading all day. It's not all fast trading. I built the room for fast trading. Later, Rodrigo will show you the actual chat room where we sit and chat, where there's no sharing. So let me walk you back into how this live room came about. 2011, I met Benzinga through a freak accident on Twitter. I was doing credit spreads when nobody had credit spreads on Benzinga channels anywhere. So I was the first one there. And I haven't quit working with them. And so we've been doing something right. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in business. So the credit spread write-up, I used to send out a write-up a day. It was a trade alert service, but no longer. It is now an education, a place to get smarter at investing. However you invest. I still like credit spreads, but I entertain everything. So among those 300s of people, maybe 50 are pure equity traders, and a whole bunch of maybe 20 or 30 pure futures traders, and a blend of everything, the rest. So the service went from me writing up one thing a day to me writing up the pre-open and then one thing a day, to me saying, wouldn't it be nice to have a chat room so the people can have recourse to come in and say, like a Discord, it's not Discord, it's proprietary. Wouldn't it be nice? So we went there. And then I said recently, a few months ago, I said, wouldn't it be nice to be live a couple hours a day? So I opened it a couple hours and it was so popular. You can see 300 people in the room almost every day, 250 to 318, all day, every day. They're in there before I am, and they're there when I leave, they're still there. So the live room was intended to catch fast trades, no discussions. I said, no chatting in here. This is not a chat room. I tried to police that for the first 2 weeks. It was hideous because I couldn't stop them from asking. So I said, you know what, screw it. I'll do double the work. So I started discussing things there. So let's say you pop into the chat room, live room, not the chat room. Remember, there's a chat room and then there's the live room. You pop into the live room and say, hey, I'm stuck in the trade. What do I do with this? I'll stop everything. We'll discuss it. I'm talking like this, and I will share my screen. I am sharing my screen. You will see 4 of these, probably 22 tickers on the screen somewhere in total. And we discuss everything. Somebody today came in, how do you trade this? And I said, this is how I would trade it. I would do a call calendar. And yesterday somebody said, for earnings, yesterday or the day before yesterday, they said, how would you play, I forgot who we're reporting, Baba or NVIDIA? NVIDIA. I said, I would do a call diagonal, and I explained how I would do it, and I did a video on it. Those strategies work out because of the differential in the implied volatility. So the options are so stupidly expensive the week of the earnings that people just blindly go there, and they shouldn't. So there's a whole bunch of learning. There's a whole bunch of discussion. There's a whole bunch of trade management. There's a whole bunch of get me out of trouble trades. At least 3 or 4 people came to me with, what do I do with this? There's a whole bunch of camaraderie to where, hey, don't do that because I know this. So for example, if I said I'm going to short Oxy, and somebody would say, no, don't do it because it's on the Wall Street Bets radar today.
Yeah, the other thing, Nick, is that I mean, even though you're doing live trading the whole day, you do a lot of education, man. Like every single thing
It's
that
all
you
about
do,
education.
it's all education. Yeah.
Every answer I have starts with a lesson. Otherwise, I would just answer. Like they would say, where would be resistance here? I would say towards 75 because that was the place where they fell from. And then I elaborate. Every day, that is my goal. So if you look at the 1 minute chart, there are a bunch of, where are they? I was like, where are my lines? Look, these lines are throughout the day. Okay, listen, this will do this will do that. By the way, this was a super important line. Nobody mentioned it, I bet you, on TV. Nobody mentioned it. This was a flash crash up out of nowhere 3 days before it actually came to fruition on Thinkorswim. I might have a picture of it here. So I said, make a note of that level. That doesn't happen often. You like cornholio? And when it does, you have to make a note of it. Where is it? I took a picture of it. It's here somewhere. What? I deleted it? No, it's here somewhere. Anyway, so we keep track of everything. This was a flash crash up before it happened. So we don't delete anything. Very little passes by us because we have 3 sets of eyeballs watching. So today was all about Reddit late in the day. This is not right price action. This is just horrible price action. We saw it coming. Look, we were saying who can call the close? Nobody. Gone Fishing was the closest. Actually, no, somebody said 415, but I didn't hear them. So I guess it doesn't count. No, it does count. I'll trust them. So this is the deal. This is as honest as a room as you can get. In the process, you're going to get recourse and resource and education material and follow up 24/7 basically. If you the chat room, not the live room, is open whenever you pop in, you ask a question, direct message, not direct message, whatever you want. Then if you want to go and discuss it live and you catch me during the business day, during the market open, we can do it there live. And in case you work full time and you can absolutely not have 1 minute to yourself, I deliver everything for you. And if you set up your email, you will get those via email. And they are living on the platform anyway. Here's the thing. You can also submit on Friday, which I'm late doing. I'll do it later. Send out a form saying, tell me about your charts that you want to discuss and let me do your homework for you. So what do? I do all the homework for you tomorrow, and Sunday morning, I will review it live with you. I will have an accompanying spreadsheet that's available for you for the whole week online. It will have 150 tickers on it. No joke, 154 last week. And they will have links, live links to charts and comments from me. And you will have videos to go with that. I will have a video that I have been breaking up into 3 segments because it's too long. So the video will be available to you to watch anytime. It's alphabetical. You can just scroll through the tickers that you want. And 2-hour webinars on Sunday if you want to join me live. This Sunday, I think I'm going to skip it. I need, it's a holiday weekend. People need some break from the stupid stock market. So I will do the homework. I will record the video and I will share it. It just won't be live. So it won't be recorded in front of a studio audience. It will be recorded on his own in his basement. No, I don't have a basement. I live in California. They don't allow for basements. Okay. So what else you will get? You will get the backing of the team from Benzinga. And if you join and you don't like it, I'm so confident you will be a better trader out of this. Whether you like it or not, I guarantee you will be a better trader out of it. I don't think anybody can do that. You may not like me once you join, say, that guy is a jackass. But I guarantee you will be a better trader because of the material we cover. I am super strong with charts. I learned them on my own. I'll put my skills against Chartworth, whatever his name is, any day.
That's the one thing that I mean, this is about options, but you teach technicals, you teach fundamentals, you go through balance sheets, you talk about earnings, acquisitions. It's just, we call it options inner circle, but there's so much that you cover, dude.
Yep. We cover the fundamentals. We talk economics, even though I'm not an economist. I think I know more than Powell, or at least I'm not lying like Powell is. And we can ignore the news and trade the actual facts that are in front of us. I know how to look at a company and discern whether it's doing well or it's, what type of investment is it? I don't mind investing in AMC, even though it's not for me. I don't mind trading AMC. I don't mind trading GME, for example, but we do the homework. That's the point. There's nothing that's taken without purpose. Like today, I didn't want to share a trade setup that has people chasing. So I was like, okay, here's what I did today. I said, I booked some profits. I locked some profits by selling covered calls, and I sold the credit call spread, which is a bearish position for next week. So if we fall on Tuesday or not rally, I will win. I just need them not to rally on Tuesday. And if they do rally, I'm already long a whole bunch of stuff longer term. So I brought balance. So I said in my video, I did record a 15-minute video. I said, here's the way I created balance. I have all these positive bullish positions that I've been talking to you about. They all are now super profitable. SoFi, Palantir, X, whatever else. Twitter was a binary trade, so it still may work out depending on how the deal pans out. But anyway, I said I took some profits. Tesla, I took some profits, but I left a lot of longs. So in order for me not to sit and do nothing on a huge up day, this was the biggest week since 2020. I don't know, October, September, November, whatever it was, whoever keeps track of those. So what if we have a breather next week? So I just wanted to create some balance. So I shared the video of balance. It was a full lesson on credit call spreads. And guess what? And I said halfway through the lesson, wouldn't it be nice to also tell them about a credit put spread? So I also shared credit put spread, which meant what? That it turned into a lesson about iron condors. So and I said, if you are already long, I would take only the upper end. If you are not long enough, then maybe you can take both ends, the iron condor And so that was a good thing to share. We'll see how it pans out. And I said, this is an active trade for somebody. If somebody cannot babysit it, I wouldn't take it. I would go out longer term. You can take the same setup longer term with a bigger buffer, so you can react. But if you have a full-time job and you cannot babysit the trade on Tuesday, you shouldn't be trading Tuesday setups. Anyway, I would be shocked if you don't find value. That was my point. And if you can't find value, and I fail to point it out, then Benzinga will give you your money back. I mean, so it's risk-free. It's not free to try, because if you're in for free, you're not mentally engaged. You won't give it a fair shakedown. We just went to Vegas for a conference, my first in-person conference. I got to meet some of the people face to face, and today it was a kick this week to chat with them online. I was like, hey, I know you, Ben. So that's really cool. And to see that he was so happy, the fact that he's learning. So I sat, and I didn't know he was a member. So I sat next to this guy who had his laptop in the conference room, and I could see his screen. I was like, man, those charts look like mine. I swear to you, I was thinking that. It turns out that he's learning charting from me, and I got a kick out of it. A, because it's, strokes the ego, and B, that he's actually picked it up and he's doing it. He's not waiting for the trade alert. Where's the trade alert? Nope.
Right. Learning.
Yep. He can do it on his own. Guess what? He's not going to go on his own. He's going to stay with us, because it works better when you're in a group. Look at the Wall Street Bets people. They're in a group. They're doing illegal stuff, but they're in a group and they're succeeding because they're trading together.
Yeah. And really quick, I just want to say I did so well in my trade today that anybody that joins gets a free laptop. All right.
I'm pretty sure you're not paying for those laptops.
But that's the thing, the community, man, is just so, because I remember when I started trading, I was trading on my own by myself in the living room. It's like I will never go back to that, dude, ever. I don't even want to trade unless I'm like,
here's the kicker. I've lost my voice since I started doing this. I speak all day. So when I put my mic on mute, every 10 seconds, hey, Nick, you're on mute. Yes, I know. I am on mute. So I have to put a flag saying I'm on mute on purpose, but the software I use doesn't allow for it. So it is, it's a pleasure to do it. But after speaking from, I don't know, before dusk, I mean, I live in California, and I have to get up at like 4 hours before the crack in order to get ready, prep myself. And when I sit at my PC and I log into the live room, there's already 50 to 100 people already in there. And most of the rest join after the bell rings, but I try not to start talking until the bell rings. But man, it is, once it starts, I'm talking all day. So you're going to get sick of my voice. And the homework is there, the effort is there. So, and here's the thing, if somebody's missing something and they speak up, I'll go get it. I'll give you an example. So we had tools come up in the last 3 months. I went out and I got engaged with the tool makers, and I got to learning it and then bringing it. And now I use it every day to make us money in the group. And I got us a discount for whoever wants to sign up. So it doesn't matter what the tool is. The fact is that we're growing to better the community based on your input. So if you think we need a tool, we'll go get it and make it work for us. So I do have evergreen videos that I should go in and add to them and refresh some of them. I'm sorry, my back is hurting, so I'm twitchy. Those are like modular videos. For example, if somebody new joins and they know nothing about options, they can watch the first video. What are options? And then another video, what are calls? What are puts? What are spreads? What are credit spreads? What's the cash settled the issue? What's the good type? What's the best type of trade for my style? That type of thing. Do I have one for iron condors? I should. On top of that, every video I share, I repeat the same concepts from scratch. I don't assume that you've been with me. So if you just watch the videos that you get 4 times a week, about 4 times a week, and you just go by the fact that they are education, not to take. In fact, I say, if you're new, don't take these trades, take them on paper. Don't let a word go through that you don't understand. And if there's a word you don't understand, write it down come to the chat room, put your video on pause, come to the chat room and ping me, Nick, I don't understand. What did you mean by the video you said that? Direct message me if you're shy about it. Nobody else will see it. I don't leave anything unanswered. And I don't care if you ask me, how do I walk? I will explain to you how do you walk, one step in front of the other. Anyway, so if you want to learn and teach me something I don't know, come join. I'm telling you, this is as honest as an effort as you're going to get anywhere else out there. Rodrigo, what do you got? Usually you come in by this time and
Yeah, I'm in the chat. I'm really, because people are pretty fired up. I'm getting a lot of questions about this stuff, and my email's blowing up, which is like unbelievable. But guys, I'm gonna go over a couple things here with you just so that we can get this out of the way and we can get back to the session, because we do have a lot that we have to go over. Okay, so really quick, and these are questions that you guys are sending me by email or on the chat, just so we can get this out and move on. So, are the sessions on Sunday recorded? Yes, they are, and they are uploaded to the chat room. Does everybody that joined get a free laptop? Yes. If you see a laptop on the checkout, click on the link. That means we still have a laptop for you. Good question there. Let's see. Is this for new traders only or for advanced traders? Actually, we have both. We have new traders and advanced traders, and they all help each other. They all work together as a community. It's beautiful when you watch it, in action like today. What is the chat room schedule? So the chat room schedule is Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m.-ish Eastern time. And then Sundays, you have a meeting from 10 to 12, 10 a.m. Eastern to 12 till noon with Nick, where he goes over hundreds of stocks with you that you pick. All right. Now, does Nic Chahine go over earnings, Fed, special event trades? Yes, we literally have been doing that for like the whole year, I think. Is there a money back guarantee? Yes, 7-day money back guarantee. What else? What other questions we have? Good one there, Phil. Does Nick provide education? Come on, man. Yes, he does. Big time. That's the main thing. That's the goal of everything. It's not just about making money. It's about learning how to do it.
Exactly.
And mobile user friendly. Yes, you can get on this chat room from your phone, your laptop, your computer, whatever it is you got. And we got a new member here. I want to give a quick shout out, guys. We got to have some manners at least. Ramesh, welcome to the team, brother. Let's go. All right. I think that covers everything, Nick. Unless you want to add anything there, because I think that kind of covered most of the questions from the guys.
That covers. I just brought a picture of the last sheet, so you can see end of video 1, end of video 2, and then end of video 3. 145 tickers. I said 154. I transposed. 154 was the week before that, I believe. This is after all the hundreds of answers I give throughout the week. So that number used to be a little bit higher, but then I opened the live room and fewer questions were needed on the weekend because they're in there. And look at the list of tickers. I mean, these are not mine. If it was me, I would have only 10. That's it. I would specialize in 10, but we have thousands of people in the group and hundreds live every day. So we have from Bitcoin to Australian markets, to regular stuff, to weird stuff, to Wall Street bet stuff. I don't care. You ask, we'll cover. AMC is here, AMD is here, AMX. What is AMX? I have no idea what that is. You have my comments and a link to it. So you want it, we can cover it. And we don't. Oh, and these are clickable in case you missed it. So let's see. So SOL, that's Solana. Yep, right there.
And someone's asking me if there's like a lifetime package for this. Just email me, guys, if you have questions about the chat room. All right, let's get going here, Nick.
My life? Are you planning on killing me? No, I'm just kidding.
Lifetime, Nick, forever. No, but seriously, man, people love you, man. They appreciate what you do.
That's an ominous plan. Lifetime package. Ooh, that's too much responsibility. I don't know. So yeah, I'm basically tied to this chair. That's why I have a gamer's chair, not because I'm a gamer, because they're the most relaxing ones, believe it or not. The other executive chairs don't recline. This one flattens out and it has leg supports too. And it's only $98 on Amazon. So get your own today. Affiliate link in the bottom. No, there isn't one. I'm just kidding. Okay. So let's do this. I'm going to go through a few things that if you don't already do, you should do. And it doesn't matter how you trade. If you trade options, if you trade equities, if you trade baseball cards, whatever it is, those need those few steps you shouldn't skip. So number one is you need to have a method. That's basically the difference between the retail traders and the pros. And I don't mean the pros like somebody who's making a living at it. The pros that are so good that they win more than they lose and they can make a living at it if they had time. So the difference is one has a method and one does not. That's often the biggest differentiator. Now, the second part is to actually have very simple steps and you don't break them. So you need the discipline to stick to those rules. So you can make all the rules you want. If you break them all the time, they don't mean anything. All right, so let's start with the number one rule, risk. So what does that mean? The first rule of taking risk is knowing how big that risk is. So this is when I usually say, I'm going to open it up. Tell me what you think. Teach me risk. And I would get everybody saying the same thing. I would get one or two people to say the other part of it. So everybody gets it right. How much can I lose? What's at stake? What are the consequences of losing? That's great. For me, if I can't say a particular number, I don't take that risk. What does that mean? That means there's no way on earth I can short stocks outright. It's against my DNA. Why? Because when you short outright, you're taking unlimited risk. How so? The traditional way of shorting stocks, you borrow shares. So for example, Bob has shares. I want to short the stock. Hey, Bob, you have Apple shares, right? Yep. Give me 100 shares. I'll give them back to you. Bob gives me his shares. I take them and I sell them because I'm so sure Apple will fall. And then Apple takes off. So now I have to return 100 shares. I have to go buy them at going rates. Okay. So who just spiked? VMware? Somebody just spiked on a buyout. Okay, VMware. All right. Let's say I borrowed 100 shares of VMware and I shorted them at 93 because I was positive it was going to go to 80. Now I have to buy them back at 130. What if the deal was at $190? What if the deal was for $300 a share? I don't know. I mean, it's unlikely, but the fact that there's a 0.01% chance it can happen, I would never short a stock outright. Luckily, with options, there are mild ways to short a stock. Simple. I did it today. You go out and you spend a few bucks to actually, somebody short, to buy a put or a put spread, or even better, selling a call spread like I just did today with the SPX. So what does that mean? Using options, there are strategies where you collect money in order to take risk. Let me reword it. So let's say, how hard is it to say Apple would be here by July? Okay, that's pretty hard. How about, which is easier, to say that, or Apple will not be there by July or here by July? Wouldn't it be easier to say Apple would not be at a low extreme and a high extreme? Those would be easier statements. Like, I'm confident it won't be 100 and I'm confident it won't be 200. I'm making up numbers. But to tell you that there's a good chance it's going to be at 180, I can't say that with certainty. So what do? I sell a lottery ticket for somebody that thinks it's going to be 100, who is obviously super bearish, too bearish. I sell a lottery ticket to somebody who wants to be super bullish at 190 or 200, which means the odds of me winning on both ends are high, because extremes don't come to fruition often, especially in a good stock like Apple. So that's the concept. So you can mitigate risk that way. So I can short safely. However, because we're still defining risk, I cannot take a risk that has unlimited upside potential against me. So that's number one, the size of the risk. That the part you manage is not that. That's a decision you make and you move on. What do I mean? Let's say I decide to take the risk and I say my risk is $1,000. I accept it and I move on. I'm not managing that. So what do I manage? I manage my odds, because when I deploy my risk, I say, okay, I think I have a 70-30 chance of winning. And when you're doing stocks, that's an arbitrary number you assign to yourself in your head because you did homework and you believe that your timing is better than the buyer or seller. There is another person on the other side of your transaction. So if you're buying shares, somebody's selling shares, and you guys think the exact opposite. They think you're making a mistake. You think they're making a mistake. So who's right? You think you're right. You give yourself 70% chance. Well, that's an arbitrary number. Whereas with options, that number is actually off the table. You can read it. It's called the delta. Use that as your options odds maker. And even if you don't trade options, I did a video today that describes how reading an options table can help you trade equities. This week, before every earnings, I went out and did homework late in the day before the close, and I said my predictions for the earnings reactions. And what do? I look at the options open interest. I look at the options volume. I look at the positions where they are. And I decide where price should be if I were a market maker. And it's been spot on. I didn't miss one this week. That is highly unusual. But I've been getting better at it. Why? Because I'm getting better at reading the options table, and it's becoming more reliable. So even if I didn't trade options, let's say you buy equities, and let's say you think Apple is going to 180 by July. I can tell you exactly what the market makers think of your opinion. You think you're smarter than a market maker? I don't think so. So if you say it's going to 180 by July, you look in the options table and it's nowhere near that. And you say, maybe I should revise my expectations because I'm not being fair to myself by thinking that. So I just threw that number in there, right? So I'm going to get you the exact number, just for giggles. What did I say, 180? Okay, there's a 5% chance that Apple would be a 180 by July, middle of July. So that's clearly not a realistic expectations. Even if you didn't trade options, the options gave you that answer. So this is the way you use data to your advantage. Whether you actually want to trade the options or not, it behooves you to at least look at them and understand them. And if you don't want to, and you're in my room, you say, what are the odds, Nick, of this being there by then? I have a person in mind that does that to me like once every 2 weeks. He's been with me 9 years. I never see him. I never hear from him. I just get an email. Nick, what do you think? But he's been with me forever. And
hey, Nick, really quick, just want to give a shout out to Rodney Boitger. Welcome to the family, brother.
All right. Okay. Crooked like the market makers. Well, but they're not crooked. They're making a market. They're taking all the risk. So they deserve a little special treatment. So here's the thing. If you're investing thinking you're going to beat the house, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. I know the rules of the house. I play along with them. I place bets that do not require the market maker to lose. Therefore, I'm like that little fish that swims under the shark. I know somebody's cheating me somewhere. I'm okay with it as long as I can make carving my own little bubble of profits. I'm okay with them taking a cut off the top because they're allowing me to do what I'm doing. And without it, the opportunity wouldn't be there. They take all the risk. I'll skim some. That's fine. That's a fair deal for me. So back to the lesson. Risk. Number one, size. Number two, odds. So that's the part you manage. So if you assign yourself, okay, I think Apple will be there, I think 70%, and then 2-3 weeks pass, whatever you thought gave you the advantage that Apple's going to be there. Let's say you thought they were going to release an iOS for the car and it's been dragging, and then you found out later, no, that wasn't it. They're actually building a car. And you think to yourself, holy crap, they can't even build headphones on time. They're going to build the car on time. No, that's not good. You change your mind. Okay. Now you're managing your expectations. That's the part you manage. You're managing your odds of success. Luckily for me, it's super easy. I look at the options table. Here's my position. What's that number? Whoop, too low. I'm out. It's very easy. And if you make it mechanical like this, then you won't leave room for judgment calls. That's what the math says. That's when I exit. The statistics are there because they are statistics based on facts. So that's the idea of managing risk based on a number or a perceived number. With options, it's an actual number. With equities, it's a perceived number. So the process is the same. However you trade, estimate the risk size you want, and then manage the expectations. Now I'm going to take a side step on the risk size. I said you don't manage that. In this environment, you should. And let me break it into two different things. If you decide that this was a good time to go long stock XYZ and you go all in, you left no room for error. Why would you do that? The VIX is almost 30. Today it dropped a little bit. That means there's high nervousness in the market. There's unpredictability. The experts are telling you, we don't know. Therefore, we're going to jack up the prices on everything just in case to cover our expectations. That's what high VIX means. The VIX is priced off the options. Chicken, egg, it's the chicken. It's not the egg. The egg is the prices that are set by the market makers, because if they think there's going to be gyrations, whatever they sell in the options, they want to make enough off of it. That's why it gets expensive. And that's reported by the VIX. So the idea is that I know everything, that I'm going all in is ridiculous. So here's what I'm suggesting. Next time you want to take the trade, if you usually do 100 shares, do half. Why? You leave room to add later. So in case you get blindsided by something like Snap, an early announcement. What? Whose idea is that? Then you leave room to add later, if you still like the trade. All right, so that's number one, risk. How do I do, how do I assess, and how do I manage the risks? So it's two different pieces. All right, so the next one is the reason you go in. So I type it so many times and I say it so many times that I built buttons in there that automatically do it. So I'm going to use this cheat sheet here. So it's NT.
Really quick here, Nick. Want to give a shout out. Trader Junkie 19512. Welcome to the family.
I was wondering if he was going to join or she was going to join. So NT, no trigger, no trade. So you're saying, I'm not a technical person. Okay, so swap this with thesis. No thesis, no trade. What does that mean? If you don't have a real reason, whether from the charts or from the fundamentals or from your research or from a hint from somebody, like a real hint that you understand and agree with, not a rumor, then you shouldn't be taking the position. That's my opinion. Because why? When you manage the odds of success, the first thing is the reason I took this trade still there? I get this question at least 3-4 times a day. Hey, I'm holding calls. You think I should close them? First things first, why did you take the trade? They most times don't have an answer. So I kind of get them to thinking. So I say, before I answer, I say, okay, how about you just write it on a sticky note? Never do that again. Never take another trade without having a specific reason. And by the way, if you say, I thought it was going to go up or I thought it was going to go down, that is not a real reason. You need the reason behind why you thought it. You felt it was going to go up. Why did you, quote, feel? First of all, you shouldn't trade on feelings. You felt it was going to go up or down. So no trigger, no trade. Absolutely. You have to have that. And FOMO, control the FOMO. Why? Because it's a human nature. We all suffer from it. So if we were still living in the wild and we're getting chased by animals that want to eat us, then if you see a herd of people running out of into a clearing, you're going to run with them without asking. Then you'll ask, what the hell's going on? What are we running from, right? With the market, you need the opposite mindset. I'm going to use a silly example. Let's say you saw a whole bunch of people running out of a theater thinking there is a fire. You run into it to check if there is a fire. If there isn't, you want to pick up somebody's wallet that they left behind, right? You want to take advantage of other people's mistakes. So on Wall Street, wherever people are running from, don't just immediately run with them. Investigate. What are they running from? Like people who threw away Upstart. I investigated and I liked what they were throwing away. I picked it up. Made me a ton of money. So, and it didn't take much genius. And I wasn't being contrarian. Okay. So there was real homework behind it. So that's the opportunity. You have to overcome your FOMO. Your FOMO tells you, holy fudge, no, I'm not touching this. Everybody's running away from it. They said, they missed. Who cares who they are? Those people that say things like that, they don't have your best interest at heart. The estimates from the experts, Who the hell are these experts? Yeah. Who sets these estimates? To me, if you miss the estimates that often, you're not a good estimator. That's what that says. It doesn't say the company sucks. It just says you're not good at setting estimates. So it's that easy. Just do your own homework, control your emotions, forget emotions. I'll tell you how it is. So we watch 15-second charts during the day. Not on VMware, but on the SPY, it plays out. So these are 15-second charts. Why do we do that? Because it gives us that much advantage over, it gives us 4 times the advantage over some other person watching a 1-minute chart. We see 4 things before they see 1. So if we're looking in here, we can see these 4, where for them, it's just one giant candle, no information. So that's how we can draw these things that match up real prices all day, every day. We do it all day. It's freaking insanely accurate. So I forgot where I'm going with this. Anyway, Nick, I'm getting old. I'm 54 trying to do this for a living. No, just kidding.
Hey, Nick,
So
yeah, when you can just look at Bitcoin after this, if we can talk a little about crypto.
Yeah, we talk about crypto. I will use crypto to demonstrate and walk you through everything I just said, from the thesis to the trigger to bunching up your trades in size and managing your expectations. In fact, let's do it right now. Since I lost my train of thought, what better time to, thanks for bailing me out. Long week, folks. Long week. Here, if you don't believe me. That's my wake up time. I just moved it 15 minutes later. It was 3:10. Wake up time and then weekend wake up time. So tired. Okay, Bitcoin, crypto. I did a couple of videos in November on Bitcoin, but the video was for crypto. And I said I trade crypto based on what Bitcoin does, because if Bitcoin, it's the chief coin in charge. So if Bitcoin moves up or down, they're going to follow suit to a degree. Some move faster, some move slower, depends on the headline they're going with. Eventually, occasionally you get the blow up, like whatever that one that just blew up. Everybody knows about it. It lost its peg. Anyway, so in last year, October, November, there was a neckline developing in crypto, in Bitcoin. I said, if Bitcoin loses the mid 40s, I had a number 44 to 42. I said, if it loses 44 to 42, it's going to drop most likely to 20, but not all at once. I said it was going to drop below, try to recover the neckline right away. Are you following? This was January, after the period of time I said. That was the neckline they were developing. They flashed this number. I said, keep this number in mind. They fell below, and then they tried to recover 46. They couldn't. They fell apart. And then they recovered it one time to 48 and change. I said, I sent the follow-up write-up. I saying, this is not it. Let's wait to see what happens. They lost this. But here's the plan. In my video from last year, and this is where that risk thing, I said, I want to end up, I had already traded crypto 2 or 3 times with 33% wins every time. So I said, it's time to build a core position. I said, I don't want to go all in here. I want to, if it breaks down, I want to buy the dip, but I wasn't sure how low it was going to go to 20,000. So I said, here's my plan. It's going to fall. If it loses the neckline, I'll buy the first batch at 33. And I did. And that was the very bottom. It was 33. And then I would repeat the process at 25, which it just did. So I had the plan. So it was part 1 of 3, part 2 of 3, part 3 of 3, I will buy at 20 or 19 or 18 or something like that if it gets there. If it doesn't get there, I'm already long at a really decent price. So it's not the bottom. I knew I wasn't going to catch the bottom. I think next it would make sense if Bitcoin goes to 34, maybe 35. I wouldn't fall for it. I would let it see if this repeats itself. It's going to try to recover 33 down here. If it can't, it's going to come back and lose 25, like what happened here. And if that's the case, that should be the last dip, and I would be in. So somewhere inside here, I would load up my third my third batch, and I would still leave some dry powder. So I'm not averaging down, I'm averaging in. My initial position was definitely not my full position. It was by design at most 1/3 and then 2/3. And now I have a good size pocketbook just waiting to load up. And the more people make fun of it, the more I like it. Because here's the thing, the more skeptics you have now, the more skeptics you have now, the more potential chasers you have later. They're going to capitulate. Here's why. Everything in your life, look around you. Is there anything in your life that is not trying to go digital? Anything. Your watch went digital, your camera went digital, your car is super digital now. You know, there's no analog cars anymore. I would pay money for an analog car. There's nothing in your house that's not digital that I can think of. Set me straight. My sprinklers are digital. My what they used to call Malibu lights, they're digital. My door is digital. My switches are digital. They're no longer analog. I speak to my switches. So everything's digital. Why not money? How is money the only thing that's not going to go digital? And you're going to say, oh, it's not going to be Bitcoin. Okay, whatever it's going to be, you think they're going to go reinvent the wheel? Or they're going to come to blockchain and say, please, can we borrow your technology? Yeah, this is the building block of future money. Whether this is going to be the coin or not, all of these experts that have their noses snub up to it, including Buffett, all due respect, the dude is a giant smart guy. Same with Munger. I mean, they're up in their mid-90s and still talking and thinking like that. Wow, impressive. But people like Jamie Dimon and I think the Goldman Sachs guy also, calling it's not a good asset value holder. What? You're in the business of investing and you're actively ignoring the best investment in a decade. Like saying, nope, that's crap. You're missing out on the number one investment. Therefore, you're relegating yourself to only investing in the second best at best. So it is ridiculous, but I love it. The more skeptics, the better. So recently I went to the premiere of Top Gun, right? So I went to the IMAX and I watched it. I haven't been to the theater in forever. I got the opportunity, now I went. Here's the story. Last Christmas party, I met a family, not a family friend, an acquaintance's friend. And I had this conversation about Bitcoin. Bitcoin was in the 50s or whatever it was. I said, hey, he said, I'm all about Bitcoin. I had 200 grand in there or whatever. I said, you might want to leave some dry powder because it's probably going to 20. He laughed his ass off at me. Yeah. So 2 days ago at the premiere, he's sitting two seats away from me, an empty seat next to me. We were happy hour before the movie. He goes, well, I guess you were right. So I went like this, high five. Well, I didn't even look at him. So yes, the charts help us be right. I wasn't a genius. I didn't know that it was going to happen. All I knew that the chart gave me the inclination it could happen. So the point is, we trade Bitcoin just like any other chart. We say, I do have an acronym, I can't remember now, trade the chart lines, not the headlines. So forget what people say about Bitcoin. Just put your head down and trade it like a freaking chart. And it's the best performing asset right here. It is still what, maybe 2,000% up from the bottom of the pandemic, just to say. I looked up Ethereum was up 6,000% from the bottom of the pandemic, I think. Something like that, 6,000. And right now, even after this whole correction, they're still up thousands of percent. So don't poo-poo it because everybody else does. Just forget what everybody else say. Let's trade it. Join the group and let's trade it. Let's trade whatever you want. Natural gas, somebody yesterday. How do I trade that? And I was like, what is this? Boil. I have never seen that, Boil. So he's asking me about Boil. Look, I gave them this yesterday. So they already got a dip. The dollar, one of my biggest winners. I said, I'm shorting the dollar right up here. Look, I put a puking thing up there. It played out and I disclosed it. I said, this is a very tricky ETF. It is. Look how choppy it is. So this is a 2-hour chart. And I said, I'm short. I did short right there. I bought a $28 put in the money. I think it's up 140%. and I've already scalped it twice. I don't have it
Yeah,
open.
Nick, really quick, man. I know that well, I mean, we've been doing these sessions for a while, man. And look, the chat room has been open for like a year, maybe, I think, or a little bit less, maybe. But
The live room,
the chat room, the chat
the
room's
chat room
been,
has been there for a little longer than a year. Yeah.
yeah, around there. But like, so here's the thing, man. We've been talking about a lot of trades, and we've talking about the perfect, um, the biggest short of the year, right? The biggest short of the year. You were talking about oil. I know you said that like months ago. So where are you with that, man?
With oil, okay.
Oil and shorting oil.
Here's my answer about oil. What? It didn't pay. Oh, oil X. Okay. You can trade the hell out of oil right now. But if mom and pops are investing in Chevron because it's a good deal and Buffett is buying it, I think they're going to lose their shirt. That's my opinion. I've shorted oil successfully and unsuccessfully here and there. So I am short Oxy long term, but I'm long short term. So what does that mean? So I bet that in the future, the hoopla is going to die down for one reason or another. I don't know what that reason is, but I know it will. And meanwhile, I'm riding the longs by being bullish short term. So I'm collecting premium short term against my short that's long term. So I am moderately shorting it with very little at risk, just to pick a fight with Buffett. He's breaking his own rule. He says it's time to be whatever, bullish when everybody's nervous. Well, you know what I mean? What is it? Be fearful when everybody is greedy. Be greedy when everybody else is fearful. He's breaking his rules. He's loading up at Oxy's not all-time high, at very high and at prior failure levels. He might have some inside information. I don't know. But the mom and pops chasing Chevron. I'll give you a statistic that will blow your mind. I went long Facebook twice already, made us a ton of money on that. Guess on what premise? I'd like to think about it for a second. Facebook's PE was lower than Exxon. What? A high growth tech stock's PE, the value bottom line, the profit line, is higher than the boring company of Exxon, which just makes an oil, like invest in oil, and it's a dying breed. Everybody wants to kill oil. No, we're going all electric. We're not going to use fossil fuel. So it's like a smoking company, basically. That is just mind-boggling. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I've seen it in Intel, because Intel always is down there, but not in Facebook. So I thought Facebook was a good deal. And guess what? Facebook paid. So how did we trade Facebook? We several times, and I'll share the picture. Whoops, I'll share the picture, which, by the way, it would have a big video with it. And these are the talking points. On the way down, I said, I bet you it won't be at 150. So I sold risk there, collected money. I took the money and I said, I bet you it will bounce, bought some call spreads. So if you did this alone, you made money out of thin air. No money leaves your account. If you did this, you paid a little bit and you made a little bit. If you did both, you made money out of thin air, basically. And now we have a tradable candle right there. And then that played out. And then it fell again. And I said, you know what? I'm going to repeat the same process here. And I did. And I'm still long. And guess what? On this dip, I went out and bought some more calls on my own. And I noted it in the live room. So that's the third time I play Facebook off of the same thesis. And my target for Facebook, yes, it's 260 to 280. When? I don't know, maybe by August, September, maybe by December, I don't know. But the Fed, yeah, the Fed is a criminal. So I think the Fed, and here's another thing that nobody talks about. I think the Fed may end up needing to cut rates. Yep. He may end up having to do what he did in 2018. In 2018, he was already raising rates and doing what he's doing now. He went too aggressive with his rhetoric. The autopilot, Google it. The autopilot comment from Powell. Google that, you'll find the whole story. So Wall Street said, nope. And then somebody that in the chat room that's also agreeing with what I'm saying. So the market will force him one way or another. Right. He's at the mercy of Wall Street, whether he fesses up or not. Money in the US comes from people who spend money, who are people who own houses and have stock accounts. So when your stock account is in the toilet, when your house is in the toilet value or falling, you're not going to spend any money. and consumer spending is 2/3 of the economy, and then the GDP will implode on itself. And then let's see if the White House would let him keep talking the way he's talking now.
Hey Nick, are you trading? What's the deal with this damn baby formula stuff I'm hearing? Like, are you trading that? Is there a way to trade this stuff? Like, baby's not gonna have baby formula?
I don't know who PG&E, PG&E, Procter and Gamble, who does baby formula.
I think it's like one company that does like 50% of all the baby formula in the US, something like
That's
that.
above my pay grade,
Abbott.
unless you know it.
Abbott Labs.
Abbott Lab, ABT. Abbott Labs, that's not baby formula, right? So ABT, here's the dilemma on ABT. Let me see, what do I say here? Set up for a swing trade opportunity. There could be some more downside. I don't know when I did that. So anyway, we can delete that. That's an old downside here. So here was my path for Abbott Labs. Where's my mic? I haven't looked at it. I don't remember when I drew that, but there it is. And here's my note. Prior accident scene resistance. I was just going to say, if I did not have lines and you showed me this, I would say this one just broke out from a prior fail. So be careful. You can stay long. You can watch a dip. That will be okay. The dip actually can fall to 114 and it will still be fine. But it's also has to battle these. So if it does this and you're not long, you can take a long on the dip down here, because this resistance now turns into support. So it will help you on the way down, and they'll catch your breath and they'll come and take wherever they fail from and exceed it and go to here, repeat the process. So if you went long, you did well. Don't be greedy, make sure to trim. This was the downside scenario and they averted it. But here's the other risk. So if you think about it, if I take all these out, this 2 hour, let's go to a daily chart. All right, who's in charge of this chart? Okay, I'll answer. I'm glad you asked, Nick. This is a bearish chart. It's a descending channel. Why? They are selling rallies. Here's a rally, they sold it. I have, like I say it so many times, selling pops. They're selling rallies. See that? So if they did it here, they also did it here, and they kind of did it here. Why not here? So I wouldn't assume that this is going to go out from this descending channel until they prove it to me. How? By at least taking out this prior fail level. You can almost see it. Look, it's been in contention. What is this number? 117. It's been in contention since 2020, August. They tried to get out. They went below it. So they teetered around it. And then they said, nope, up we want. And we defended it. And we defended it. Whoops, we lost it. And they're coming back into it. So it is a pivotal zone. So why not another sale? So be careful assuming that it's going to the moon. It is not necessarily going to the moon. Onus is on the bulls to overcome what's coming next. Next. Any tickers? Let's do tickers. Hit me.
All right, let's do some tickers here, man. Let's go over Tesla.
Tesla. The one I said is to get long.
Yes.
So here's the simple thing I said. Look at this chart. Look at this chart. I'll talk to Twilio in a second. Violent, 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 violent. Why not violent? That was the simple reason I went long Tesla. Actually, I saw something in the open interest that caused me to think that. And look at this. Since I said go long Tesla, it was still falling when I said I'm buying calls in Tesla. 23%. That's how that guy got 1,200% on his calls, because it's up 23% since I said go long. So I'll talk to NVIDIA. I can talk to NVIDIA without looking at a chart. Julia, I'll do it just because you said please. On semi, we'll skip that. Twilio, I'll do Twilio, NVIDIA. Affirm puts. What do you mean, Lori? The buy puts or the sell puts? The buy puts. Now you want to buy puts on Affirm? I would sell you those puts. Okay. Let's go for NVIDIA, and then we'll circle around. So great bounce, right? Don't fall for it, and I'll tell you why. Great company. Don't get me wrong. You remember the scenario with Bitcoin? Lost the neckline, hasn't been able to recover it. Okay. AMD and NVIDIA are both in exactly the same scenario. Check it out. If you heard of a head and shoulders, right? Shoulders, head, shoulders, lost the neckline. The target is the depth of this, which puts NVIDIA in 2 digits, like 85-ish airborne. So the bottom line is they lost the neckline. It's up here, but I'm going to give them a lower number, an easier neckline, 205. 205. If NVIDIA cannot get to 220, come back to 205, maybe lose it, come back and take out 220, I think it's going much lower if the markets don't recover. Now, the markets could help it snap out of it, but it's in the hands of the sellers. So if you got fast profits from NVIDIA, don't forget to book it in case it makes a beeline. Let me show you the lines. This doesn't give you permission to go short it. It just tells you, be aware that this may not last. So book profits faster than you would. Oh my God, I've got way too many. Okay, by the way, here was my NVIDIA guess. It was spot on earnings, spot on. So I said support at 160. It bounced off of that. Upside pressure to 175. It went there even after the drop. And then I said, there is a long shot scenario to 187. Where did it close? 188. Those comments were made in front of hundreds of people the day before they reported. So the options data is worth gold. You just need to know where to look. So anyway, here's the visual. Neckline, I draw it sideways instead of being from here to here. But anyway, this is doable just based on technicals. If you cover up the name, this is where it should go. Has a ton of support everywhere, but you have to be aware of the fact that the bears have it. They're selling rallies. There's no doubt about it. Look at it. So until that changes, like I think into 200, there are machines that are going to try to sell it. Exact same scenario in AMD to a worse degree. AMD should come down to the middle 60s. I love it. And I hate their product. I just bought my first AMD machine too. I bought a desktop and a laptop. I will never do it again. I mean, they perform really fast, but they have so many quirks, especially with their graphics, very unstable, at least my experience with it. One was Windows 10, one was Windows 11. I have never had these issues with Intel, and I'm a pretty good PC guy. So anyway, AMD and Intel, onus is on the bulls to take over. In AMD is they need to get above 104, fall back, establish footing, and then recover 104 and continue on to erase that giant head and shoulders. Look at it right there. Do I have lines? I must. Yeah. Anyway, what was the other one? NVIDIA, we did that. Twilio. Twilio, I said, own it. Somebody today said, I'm long Twilio. Should I close my profits? I said, I wouldn't. I would trim, but I would stay long because if the markets recover, this one will, this one is the mother of all momentum runners, right? People forget that. So what you want is for it to come up to here, fall, catch its breath before, catch its fall before it goes into 2 digits again. And you want it to come back and take out 114. You take out 114, this is the biggest hurdle, right? You take that out, you're in the 40s. And I mean like within maybe hours. So if I'm long, I can be long against these two. If I want to stop out as a trade, I would stop out here. But if I'm investing, I would take half a position and not stop out. And then I will add the second half wherever it ends up being because it'll be good. It's not cheap because they spend a lot of money, but that's what growth companies do. Like Amazon used to. Everybody complained, oh, he loses a lot of money. That's because it's reinventing the world, dude. So anyway, you don't measure profitability for a growth company. People say they missed earnings when they're reporting on Twilio. What? Why is earnings the first headline? Tell me how they did on sales, because that's a growth company. They're chasing the sales number, growth, 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 growth. You don't look at how profitable they are. You can't grow a company by pinching pennies. You're supposed to overspend. So make sure you follow the right headline.
Nick, do you think Do you think that we are going to see what people are calling capitulation or some sort of like just big, or do you think we're kind of out of the woods a little bit? How do you feel
We
about
are not
everything?
out of the woods. So I'll answer your question indirectly. I think what you're saying. So here's the S&P. I've been saying the sellers are in charge. Therefore, the machines are programmed to sell rallies. Therefore, I should sell rallies. Right? That was my point. And my point is not to short that the ABCs. Remember the ABCs? Okay, so this is going to get busy. Sorry, we do have fun. You can't accuse us of not having fun. So the ABCs, I need some clean space to put it on there. Here are the rules of engagement these days. The VIX is so high, that means we should doubt everything. That means on rallies, I should add insurance wherever I thought I needed it. Like if 2 days ago when the market was falling out of bed and I was thinking to myself, oh my God, I should have bought VIX calls, I should have bought puts. And then 2 days like these happen and you didn't go out and buy puts. Or book profits early, the ABCs. That so you should book. I booked profits early. I missed out on a ton of money this week, but I did the right thing and I will do it again. And close losing trades. So if I have a losing trade, like Rodrigo there, he had a losing trade and then the market went his way and he booked it. Had he not booked it because he got bailed out, that would be greedy and not doing proper things. So ABCs, very important. So what am I saying? I'm saying the bears are in charge until I know I have empirical evidence that they're not. So my behavior is to fade the rallies, not short the rallies. Act like they're going to fade. So protect myself, book my profits, be ready for the fade if it comes. However, this is on the daily time change, daily chart. So if I go to a 2-hour chart, who's in charge? I'll give you a minute. Tell me who's in charge. Let's go. Somebody speak up. Crickets. All right, I'll save you. Bears. Yes. Thank you, Sal. Bearish. Yes. Bears. So
Not
the
the
bears,
apes.
the sellers are in charge on the 2-hour. Let's go to the 1-hour. Whoop, who's in charge? Nobody. We're going sideways now. We're fighting over the controls. The reins of the horse reins are on the floor. People are just trying to get it, right? We go to 30 minutes. Oh, wait a minute. Now we start to have some upside momentum. So on this period of time, from the 20th on, the buyers are in charge. So if you ask me short term and you're active trader, you can assume dips will be bought. Dips will be bought. But from a top line, we're not out of the woods. 15 minutes, the bears got shellacked today, right? So this says you should expect a rest, but if it does come, you should expect them to try to buy it at 408, which was an important line on the daily as well. I hate this rally, just like I hated this rally, which I said it was coming. Just like I said this was coming. So this was a Wednesday Fed meeting 2 meetings ago when they came out and gave us the worst news ever. They gave us the worst news ever. They said, we are out to destroy the economy. They said that. And we rallied 11% in 11 days or whatever. That was insanely bad. And then the next day, we got a pattern that said, 436 is the target, if not 432. And then this happened. They overshot. And now we're doing 421 was my target 3 days ago. I didn't want it to come here so fast. And here we are, almost at 421. Not good. We should have stopped here. This was 408-ish. We should have stopped here and here. And we should stop here. So are the future contract roll next week? If they are, maybe we go whoop. We gap down on some open and we shake out all these weak hands and then establish better footing. I mean, I don't mind like dipping down to here. I don't think we should lose that, but a little drop down to here would make sense. This is just too much too fast. Can I look at open? I can. Can you join? No, I'll look at open. Sure. GME earnings soon. I haven't covered GME, Joe, but do we need to? Do we have to? I'll look at GME. Open and GME. Okay. So if things were to repeat, what's the next tick, red or green? The next tick is red. Now, this is just the top line. At some point, they will break the habit. Yep. So this is, what is this? Open. You have resistance. You break out of this, you could get to 9, but you have to deal with this resistance. Right now, the bears are in charge. Onus on the bulls to take advantage of this inverse head and shoulders that's drawing itself up here. Oh, check this out. Okay, what do I say? They are selling rallies. They still are. So that was me guessing the earnings. That's too, they didn't report. Should be tough to rally. That was my guess on the earnings. Should be tough to rally. Sure enough, it did not rally. So this is a catalyst that may be enough to break out of this, which taking that out would also be catalyst to take this out. So you have the potential of tag teaming bulls. This bullish breakout could trigger this bullish breakout, could trigger that one, will get you to 10, which would be a really big problem. But is open a SPAC? Seems like $10 is the, it is. Okay, so beware of that $9 to $10 zone. Plus open is a real estate play, right? Okay, so there's a fundamental stat that you need to know about. I think 20% of all houses, read it, I don't know the exact wording, 20% of all houses on sale had to lower their prices. First time that happened in a long, long time. So the rate hike is killing the business. Remember the guy I told you with the crypto that I gave him a high five? He's in the business of commercial real estate. He is dying. He has like 6 or 7 giant deals that are dead in the water because of financing, because you strike a deal based on the financing at this rate, and the rate jumped 1.5 points. And for a multi-million-dollar deal, that's a deal breaker. So same problem on a lower level. And if I can't sell my house, I'm not going to Home Depot to fix my house before I sell it. And the people that buy it, I'm not going to Home Depot to get their own stuff in there. So it's just trickles downhill. And the house is the biggest transaction in people's lives.
Isn't the last mark? I mean, that's the only market that is like still going up. But like if the consumer's not doing good, or it's going down now.
Not going up now.
Oh, okay.
You talk to real estate people. I have a group of real estate people I meet with once every couple of weeks. They're all real estate people. It's like, 500 of them, I think. They are all complaining. It's dried up pretty quickly.
Yeah, and that was the last standing where everybody was like, well, the housing market's going to do fine, but people don't have money. How are they going to buy houses? So they just keep going up in price.
They do have money, but they cinched the belts. And now when you shop for a house, my mortgage adjusted from 2.5 to 4. It's not a big deal. It's a tiny loan. I've been there a long time, but yeah, Donna, you'll feel it. I promise. If they continue talking like they are talking, the crimp is going to spread. It's not a disaster. It's not like the 2008 disaster where they had false valuations, but every house has never been more expensive than now. So anyway, just be cautious. Somebody's asking about Ford. Anyway, my point is, I don't know how open will suffer because of it. That was my point. So Ford, I said get long in the bottom. So Ford, I did. When did I share it? I'll see if I can open the spreadsheet while I have you here. So I went Ford for the group when it was like $7. And I think that's when we had a huge ramp in members, and it was a massive win. And then it went to 26 or whatever, and somebody said, let's go long here. I said, no. And then it dropped, and let's go long here at 16 or 18. I was like, no way, I'll be interested under 14 or 13. And then it fell under 13 or 13. And then I said, you know what, I'm interested now. And we took a position in Ford on 511. I sent out a note and I said, I personally would like to sell puts at 10. because I wanted it to come down to 10, but it wasn't coming down to 10. So the equivalent. So how about we jump into a quick lesson on options using the answer of Ford? Okay. How many here don't have a clue as to what options are, just so I know how to speak to it? And it's okay. Just put a 1 if you don't know what options are altogether. I'm going to give you a crash course that will just open your, what? There's that world out there? All right, perfect. A whole bunch of 1s. So listen up. And if you know options, people, bear with me for a second. I think it's worth it to bring in more people to try to talk about options. Check this out. I'll use Ford, perfect example. Everybody knows the company. They have great cars. Well, great. They have popular cars. Some people hate them, some people love them, but you got to pull for a good old American company. So that was my thesis at $7. I was like, somebody will figure it out. So the idea is to find a good spot. I said 12 is acceptable. So I issued on 5.3, wherever it was. Anyway, 5.11, I said, right? So right here, okay. We had wins and then came back down. I was like, if you missed it the first time, the same thesis still, boom, the win again. So you got the same win twice. Now, on the way down here or here, it doesn't matter. On the way down here, I said, you can buy shares. And that's not a bad thing to do. But please don't go all in, because I think it can fall to like 11. If the markets continue to fall, it could still drip lower, at which point it would make much more sense. So half position. And you can buy calls, which is an options way of participating in the upside. I'll explain that a little bit later. Or you can do my favorite thing, which is I like to open up options trades that require no money out of pocket. In fact, I get paid. And let me explain to you how. I said, instead of buying shares at 12, okay, so I want to get paid to buy them at 10. What? Yep. So what can I do to do that? Options are contracts. They come in 2 flavors. One is called puts and one is called calls. They're not bearish or bullish. It's what you do with them. They're both bullish and both bearish. It depends on how you use them. So the way I'm using them is, hey, I'd like some shares in Ford. I wish it was 10. I wish it was 10. So what do? I go out and I sell a put at 10. What does that mean? Okay, Bob has 1,000 shares of Ford. He's worried about them. He wants to cover them. He got in at 5. So he's okay losing down to 10, and then he wants to be out. So I would sell a put at 10, and then what happens? Bob will pay me $1 per contract. So he will pay me $1,000 to promise I will buy his shares at 10 or 11 or whatever numbers were. Let's use 10 for round numbers. So what does that mean? It means I committed to Bob that I'm a buyer of his shares. I don't have a choice. I can't refuse them at 10. And I got paid $1 per contract. So $1,000. So now what does that mean? It means one day, if Ford collapses to 9, I wake up and Bob would say, you promised, here are your shares. I own shares of Ford. The position that I had, which is the sold put, would have accumulated paper losses all the way. It would look like you just lost 1,000%, but I didn't really, because I didn't panic. I wanted to own shares. So I just didn't do anything with the position. Let it go red, let it go red. It either it expires for maximum gains, means nothing happens, I keep my grand, or I wake up owning shares. What does that mean? Math out of my pocket. Means I bought shares at 10 and I break even at 9. Why? Because he paid me $1 for each. So 10 is my cost, 9 is my break even. If I keep my shares and Ford falls to 8, I lost $1. So not a big deal. That is one way to do it. So if you did it here, and this rally gave you your profits, and then boom, you repeated it, this rally gave you your profits again. What's the bad thing about that strategy? First, what's the good thing? I didn't put, no money left my account. I just made money out of thin air. Now, nobody should sell a put if they haven't done it before. And I would never do this in a stock I don't want to own or a stock I can't afford to own. Unfortunately, the trading platform will let you do it. It's crazy. It's criminal. They shouldn't. To a degree, they let almost everybody say anything, sell anything. So anyway, What's the downside? The downside is I cannot participate more than that. Like if Bob doesn't give me my shares, I don't have Ford shares. So what can I do? If I wanted to own 1,000 shares of Ford, I would sell 5 contracts to get me 500 below, like I would just said, and then I would buy 500 shares if I wanted to, or buy 5 calls, which would be the way to lock my profits in. So we just defined puts. The put is a contract, and every contract in options represents 100 shares. That's why I said 1,000 shares. So 100 shares. So if I do 10 contracts, that's the 1,000 shares we're talking about. So every contract is 100 shares. So if I sell 5 contracts, I've committed to buying 500 shares from Bob. Okay, so it's a contract, and the contract has stipulations. It has parameters. So when you buy insurance from your car insurance company, you enter into a contract. In fact, I need to sign one today because we bought a new car. Not a new car. My son bought a new used car. So the contract has time limit. Like, is the term 6 months or a year, right? In this case, I would choose, I can do options for a day, a week, a year, a month, go way out in time, 2 years. Depends. So I will choose one that suits my style or my parameters. And then we'll establish the price. In this case, I used the number 11 as the price. So we negotiated time, we negotiated price, and the quantity. I said 5 contracts to get $500, 500 shares from Bill. So now we have all these parameters. There are more parameters, but we don't need to discuss them. Those will explain the actual transaction. Now, what are calls? I said they come in 2 flavors. That was the put. The put is insurance for Bill. The put is an opportunity for me to buy something I want at a lower price. It's like me putting a market order, a limit order, say, hey, if that stock drops to there, get me 100 shares. Same thing, except in this scenario, they pay me for it. I get paid today. What? And it may require some margin, like you need a good size account, but you don't borrow money in options. The word margin is not like with equities. In equities, margin means you go out and borrow. Nope. In options, everything is cash secured. So if I take a position, a risk, I have to have some cash to cover it. So this trade, you're saying I couldn't do it in my $5,000 account. Yes, you can. You do something called a credit put spread, which limits your risk, but I'm not going there. But that's how I made my career, selling credit put spreads when I got started. That's just money. Anyway, so that's the position on the put. So I sold him an insurance policy, right? So what if I wanted to buy shares and I wanted to lock my price? So I said, maybe he'll give me his shares, but what if he doesn't? I still want to buy 500 shares from somebody else. So what do? I go out there and it's like, who's a seller at that price? Somebody out there wants to get rid of their shares higher. So I find a contract that represents that. So I say, from here until September, can somebody, I want to lock my price of Ford at, pick a number, 14. I go out there and I pay premium, $200 or whatever. I'm making up these numbers. I don't have the platform in front of me. So what happens then? So now I collected some money from Bill for promising he would sell me his shares. So I locked myself for 500 shares if he will give them to me. If not, I made money. I'll take the money from him and buy guaranteed purchase, if I want it, of shares at X price that I desired. And I sit and wait. Now, Ford rallies, I'm long for a fraction of the cost of actually spending $1,000 times $14 right now per share. So that's how you get long a stock, with conviction, with very little money. You sell a put to own shares, and you buy a call to own the rest of them. You don't go all in, and you never sell a put you don't intend of owning ever. That's how people break. By the way, I would never sell a put in a company that does not have a P&L, like a good P&L and a reputation. Like I wouldn't do this in Lucid. No way. I wouldn't do this in anything that doesn't have a business that's going right now. Lucid has a great car, great technology, Show me you can make it in business. Then I'll sell a put in Lucid. Right now, got nothing. They sold 3 cars and they have a recall on 3 cars. That's all they have. So until they become like a Neo. Neo has a P&L that's been established. The car is nowhere near as nice as Lucid, but at least I can do 1 + 1 = whatever. If it wasn't a Chinese company, I would sell puts in it. But now there's risk of delisting, so I don't do that. So you see, there's only a certain parameter of companies. AMD, all day I can do it. I'll tell you a story. During the pandemic, AMD crashed, right? Just like the whole market. Let me see if I can find it. That's the pandemic right there. We had that first jaunt down into the middle of February, late February. Market fell apart, right? People panicked. AMD was still above $40. I went out there and I said, October, I think, October. I went to the October contracts and I said, I want to buy AMD at $22. It was still in the 40s. I sold puts at $22. People paid me $2.20 for that. Can you imagine? So what does that mean? If I said I'm willing to buy 1,000 shares of AMD at $22, they would have paid me $2,200 that day. $2,200 went into my pocket. All for me to promise to buy AMD at 22 through October. Like all day sold to you. Here's your put. Here's your put. Here's your sign, as they say. And then the market bounced. I made money off of those. I could have closed them for a lot less, but I didn't. I was like, I'll buy the shares. I don't care. Then the market made its dip to the low of March and everything got super weird. And AMD fell below 40. I didn't sweat it. What did I do? I went, can I repeat this? I said, I found out that I was able to sell July calls, which were shorter dated, 20 for 2.2. I kid you not, it was almost exactly to the penny. So I repeated the order. So now I ended up with double the order. My break-even point was like $19 or something like that on AMD. What? All day. So that's those are few and far between. I won't pray for AMD to fall back down there, but if it does fall down there, I'm going to repeat it. When they panic, and they will panic, and the VIX will go to a bazillion again, I will be selling puts in stocks I love with conviction. So that's the story of how it's easier to make money with other people's money by selling a put spread, by selling a call spread. I share usually Iron Condors 8. I haven't shared them in a couple of weeks, actually a month maybe, because the market has been so violent and I have had an influx of a lot of new people. I don't want to throw new people to the wolves. Iron Condors are super cool. I use them in AMD quite a bit. Somebody jumped into the chat room. Can I have an Iron Condor for AMD for the next week? Sure, here you go. I give them the Iron Condor. What is an Iron Condor? It's a bullish and bearish trade that you take, which neither need a rally to win or a drop. So you're basically saying, please don't go super bullish. Please don't go super bearish. Stay in the middle where you're supposed to. And unless something weird happens, I just make money out of thin air. So that's an Iron Condor, the easy answer. Those are super great if you know how to set them up and if you're good and you pick the right tickers. I would never do that in anything biotech. I would never do that in anything oil right now. Headline stocks, nope. Somebody mentioned Twitter. I'm sorry I didn't answer. I'm long a call in Twitter, and that's a binary bet on the deal. It's arbitrage. It either happens or it doesn't happen. I'm done with the glasses. Oh my God. It either happens or it doesn't happen. If it happens, it's $54. If it doesn't happen, it's at support. So I would hold the call. This is a base, deal or no deal. If there's a deal, it's up in here somewhere. If there's a no deal, it's down here. It's close. I'm fine. If my iron range bound stocks rather than volatile stocks, I would love it, Chris. Yes, as long as the stock has enough premium. Some stocks don't allow. The DIA, I don't sell spreads in because it's never priced as big as it moves. So it's always underpriced. And it's not an advantage for me to sell. Here's the kicker, though. I didn't start by that. If you've taken an options class, probably in the first 5 minutes you heard the statement, most options expire worthless, probably. So why on earth would you want to be buying them? Would you say, okay, which room are they teaching how to sell options? Because I'm out of here. Why would you want to buy options? You should be looking for ways to sell options and learn how to sell options. There's a way to profit off a Tesla like foolproof if you have a good size account. Just sell puts into every giant dip with intelligence, provided you can buy the shares. It's almost foolproof. Of course, nothing is foolproof. Everything is risky. Otherwise, they won't reward you. But Tesla carries so much premium that it allows you to sell. For example, you want an example? You want a ridiculous example? All right. Let me ask you a rhetorical, not a rhetorical question. Hang with me. What do you think a good price for Tesla is for you? Give me a number where you would buy Tesla this year. Somebody hit me. Would be a slam dunk, but 400. Okay, Sal, 550. You can do better than that. Let's go. You can go lower. 450, 405. Okay. How about I pay you $1,400 today if you promise you buy Tesla at 350? Sounds like a good deal. That's out there. You could have done it today. 350. Somebody will pay you $1,400 to promise to buy their 100 shares at 350. Now, that takes up a lot of margin because it needs a certain size account, but you can change the trade to be a credit put spread. This is through November. This is not a trade alert, Venkat. So don't go out and be selling puts and say, Nick told me to, you should know. So you can sell a put spread. Right, Joel, right? Say, if you haven't joined the room, Joel, I bet you'll have a good time. It sounds like you speak our language. 300 people that speak your language. Come on. You can cancel if you don't like it. So 350, 370, you sell the put spread down there, you would need $2,000 margin. Oh, yeah. Doesn't matter. I can trade without a chart. So Tesla, I thought 3 days ago could be in the high eights. So I said, let's go long, and look what happened. It can still be in the high eights. This is a weekly chart. So this is a slow moving chart. The reason I show it is because this blue thing is not quite formed, but it's a harmonic pattern that draws itself. I don't know how to draw them, but I know how to use them perfectly. So once it draws itself, it says, hey, go out and look for a long. So I saw it happening on a lower time frame, and we went long already. So on a dip, I would buy it. I bet you it could be 880 in the next 3 weeks, maybe, if the markets allow it. For now, I have to respect the action that the bears are in charge. They're selling rallies. So I assumed they were going to sell this one, and I closed my longs in Tesla. So I'm okay missing out because I did the right thing. But it was a good win. It was a fast win. Thank you for the opportunity. I'll catch you on the flip side. Ramesh, I'm pretty sure they record them, but if you're registered, you will get the email about it. Why 300? I just picked a random number. I went down the list and I just picked a random number. The 400 is $2,000. So if you, for example, if I sell a 400 credit put spread, it is a bull put spread. It is a bullish position that does not require a rally. In fact, the only thing you need to win is for Tesla not to fall through 410 through November. And you would collect, I'm doing air math here, so don't hold me to it, about 18% yield on the risk. And the account would need $800 per contract, $750, not $800. I'm doing air math. So there are ways to create income. I call it boring. It is boring way of making money. But in this case, boring is absolutely beautiful. So keep in mind.
Hey, Nick, really quick here. Just want to give a shout out to JHD Tree One. Welcome to the family, brother. Let's go.
How do I pronounce that? JHD31.
The True One. Yeah.
Just
I
the
don't
one.
know.
Today we made jokes around that. Somebody had pretty inventive names, handles. You can Joe. All right, cool. Okay, so thanks. And when you join, if you join, pop into the chat room and say hi. I won't be answering because I'm so dead tired and hungry. As soon as I'm done with here, I'm gonna go walk my dog and have a bite, and then maybe take a little power nap or something. I'm exhausted. But anyway, I will get back. But there are, can you share your screen and show, if you haven't done so, the page where we have the training videos if you want?
Yeah. 1 second.
So Joe, I'm pretty sure you might know options already, but just get familiar with what tools there are. And if you're not familiar with options, I would start there. I would suggest you go through the video, watch it, make sure that you don't skip over a word that you don't understand, and come back to me and say, what did you mean by that? So they're modular. So I made them to try to make the learning in one simple little basket at a time. I appreciate it, Donna. Thank you. You see how this is going here? This is how it is all day, every day. I promise you, I'm here all day, every day. Who does that? Okay. So I have no life right now because I've dedicated it to educate thousands of people. Once we get up to speed, I'll still do it because I love it. I love it. All right, Deborah, see you soon.
Yeah, we got the videos pulled up there. What's a call? What's a put? What's a spread? Definitions, all
And if
that
there's
stuff.
something you want, oh, by the way, earnings are a crapshoot, right? But now we're getting smarter. I haven't missed one this week, and I don't think I missed one last week either. But here's the point. Roku earnings, Zillow earnings, Zoom earnings. I made videos. I said, here's how I do a call calendar and a call diagonal. And here's why you should not buy calls and puts. And I said, in fact, I don't need a rally to win. So I made a bullish bet on Roku where I bought a call, and the call I bought lost money, and I still made money. Why? Because I sold a call for the week of Roku's earnings. And because I structured it where I'm selling something 3 times more expensive than it should be, and I'm buying something at the going rate it should be, the next morning at the open, the premium I paid was double. Both things lost that I bought. One bought, one sold. Both things lost. But the one I sold lost twice as fast. So I ended up making money. This way, I didn't need to guess up or down. All I needed is for the stock to open. That's it. And I did the same thing with puts on Zillow. And I did the same thing with Zoom calls. And those played out. The calls on Roku were diagonal. I did videos to totally explain what it is. It sounds like gibberish, but it's so simple. So I laid it out. All right, so what time did we start? 2? Okay, 10 more minutes. I have 10 more minutes in me. What do you want me to do? More tickers? You want to tackle something? What?
All right. No, yeah. I mean, so overall, I mean, we've touched on a lot of things today, and I know that, it's been a long week, right? It's been a successful week, no doubt, but
Yeah.
long to say the least. And well, look, man, let's just, whatever you want to do, man. 10 minutes, take it away, Nick. I mean,
Yeah. So give me a ticker. Maybe I'll find an education piece around it.
All right, CVS from Said.
CVS as in Victor.
Yeah.
Wait, is this my Said? No, Sal. Okay.
It is here though. He is here though.
Okay. So from this perspective, this is a weekly chart, super long-term chart. It says, I don't want to be long. Okay. So this is a harmonic pattern that says it's a mathematical relationship thing.
I don't think you're showing the screen, Nick, right now.
Oh, I'm not. Okay. Well, I'll take it back. I forget that you sometimes do that. Where is my screen? Oh, there it is. Okay. So this is CVS. This is a weekly chart. First of all, I don't like to buy a stock. Somebody that bought here is not in my group, because all you have to do is look left. Why on earth would you buy when this is where they failed and it took them 7 years to come back to it? Not a good place to get long. So for next time, just look left before you leap. Just look left. So not a good place. Now, that aside, if I don't look left, considering this pattern, this red W, it's called the crab. It's a harmonic pattern. I don't draw it. I pay for a service that does that. It's pretty expensive, but it's very accurate. I don't know how to draw it. I can learn, but who wants to do that? So I know how to use it. It tells me once it draws itself, start looking for reasons to be bearish. It doesn't say go short. It just says go find other reason. And there are a couple of reasons that I just saw. Whoops. Like the RSI is dipping, Fisher, whatever they call it, transform is dipping. So there are reasons. Now it does have support somewhere around 91, but I think the support, if it bounces, in fact, I'm going to put an alert right here. Consider shorting harm 1 week. Those are notes to myself. So if it bounces to here, I would consider fading that. What does that mean? I would book profits if I have them. If I wanted to buy a put or a debit put spread to mildly short, safely short the stock, it could probably fall to 80, a little bit lower in stages. It would fall here, bounce, fall here, bounce. So it would develop a descending trend. Oh, look at that. What? Check it out. So this was my arrow that says likely. Look at this. The mic drop. I have I can go back and find the chart where it wasn't there. So it fell to my arrow, and now they're selling rallies on the daily chart. So I'm saying that selling rallies could also start happening on a weekly chart. So if they do rally, they're going to sell it and rally and sell it and rally and sell it. It might come to 80. It has a lot of support zones in between. So it's not an active heavy short. The short happened. From up here, I said likely come down. I bet you if I look inside one of these, you will find a chart with CVS on it that has that arrow. Here's one. It was, okay, that was last week, so it's too late. I should go back in time and find one from like 3 weeks ago. I bet you it'll be there. So likely it happened. Now it has support. I don't short it down here. I wait for the bounce. I short the bounce and see if I want to. I may not want to fight for it with it. So that's CVS. What is, hey, Marco, intraday on the 1 minute, the impressive turns into money making. So yesterday was like, what? It was unbelievable. I would call me a liar if I didn't have 250, 270 witnesses. So the way we use that late in the day, the knowledge of the chart is how we make bets last minute. Like this, I expected a drop. I wanted a drop for it to make sense. And I said, uh-oh, as soon as they took this out, I said, they're going for 415 and the call is 17 cents, 15 cents, whatever it was. And it turned into a huge win for whoever bought that call. I didn't buy it, but other people in the chat room did. So little runs like this are technically available. And if you read the open interest, it gives you a clue. Today, the open interest read did not materialize. Today, the market makers lost money. And that's Wall Street bets. Here, somebody told me, anybody singing a song right now? I am. Like, what? I said it. Okay, so I'm going to bring it. So that's what 2-liter bottle of Mountain Dew will do to you. Sounds like you're on crack. This is a Wall Street bet conversation piece. Look at what's number 1 today. SPY. I would stop trading the S&P if they continue doing that, because they add a level of unpredictability that I'm not comfortable with. So I can predict prices pretty accurately to the minute intraday, but not when they're in charge. So I will stop doing that. I will go back to using just regular stocks. So let me see here. Give me ticker other than CVS. Question.
Affirm.
When you buy option in your margin brokerage account, is it possible to keep your stocks without paying the brokerage interest in those stocks in perpetuity? I don't understand.
Yeah, if you want, we can look at Affirm if you want, Nick.
Okay, Affirm, yeah. Oh, I don't know the link. Quiver Quant. Affirm. So caveat on Affirm, I thought it should have found footing way before it did. And then they did that mess here when they had their way out. And then I think, when was that? February, there was issues with somebody else. Was that Ukraine? Somewhere around Ukraine. And then they released the earnings soon, and they just lost all kinds of momentum. But
is it that like someone released the earnings before or something like that?
They did that. So just if you give me this chart and you say, do you go along here? I say, no, I'd buy the dip. But if you're investing in a firm for the long term, it's okay to nibble. A firm has a good business. It's just misunderstood. They spend a lot. So right now on Wall Street, anything that ARK Invest could have been interested in, they sell. So they don't want high growth companies that spend a lot of money, like Palantir, which I'm long, making money. SoFi, I'm long, making money. A firm I would have been long, except I got tired of it, so I ditched it. So look, rally, sold, rally, sold, rally. If you buy it here, you're a sucker. But if you bought it here, you're human, and that's okay. I would rather buy it on the dip. And if you're long, I would hold it and see what happens. Technically, this is where the machines start selling it. But at some point, they will stop selling it, and hopefully it's this time for you. So if it gets to 33.5, that's a hurdle, in my opinion. So let's drill deeper. You see now the hole you're getting out of? So this was a massive accident scene. They still have a gap to 31.40. Let's see them take this candle out, which is 33, round it. And then you have to tackle every losing line, but this is a sharp line. So arguably, one can say, hey, you've got an inverse head and shoulders. You can draw it over here. Look at that. Okay. I dropped my mic. That was my potential. I did this. Are they making progress with higher lows? The answer is yes, so far. They overtook a prior problem area, and now they're trying to fill the potential. I contend that that arrow should have been shorter because I should have accounted for these, but I'll let it run. So if you got long and you have profits and you trim some, good. If you're not long, either chase the, okay, I'm going to introduce you to a new acronym of mine. In this position, where before I type it, I would buy the dip into the so-called new support of higher lows, or chase the rip. What does that mean? Either wait for it to fade and buy the dip so you get a better run at it, or wait for them to actually break out and prove to you that they can break out. Look, today it fired off 2 warnings. Maybe I can show you. They're gone. So I had 1 of 2 alerts, 2 of 2 alerts, and that's 1 of 3, 2 of 3, and that's 3 of 3. Progress, affirm progress. So the acronym is BDBR. Buy the dip if it comes, or chase the rip if it happens. So the other one would be wait for it to actually break out, and then same deal. You chase it up.
Nice. Well, man, Nick, it's been great here, man. I want you to have a great weekend. Rest up, brother. We need you here pumped up, making us money.
This was a fun session. This was like totally unorganized. So I'm sorry. I usually have overheads and all of that. Mm-hmm. You're welcome, Marco. Absolutely. So if you join the group, I promise you, this is what happens all day, every day. All day, every day. You want to talk stocks, we talk stocks. You want to talk options, we talk options. You want to learn charts, you're going to learn the crap out of charts every day, every day. So Get in there, and if you don't like it, these guys will give you your money back. All right, Deborah. I'm like, it's a controlled madness over here. All right. You gonna stay around, Rodrigo?
Yeah, I mean, if people have questions about the chat room, I'll stay here for a couple
welcome.
minutes. Yeah, I mean, it's Friday, guys, but look, I mean, I'm here for you. I'm done. I had a great week trading, so I don't mind staying here for a bit, helping you guys out. If you got questions.
Yeah, you're happy.
It's probably my best week trading ever, dude. This and last week, it's just, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just, I'm not going back to trading alone. It's just, I don't make a trade if I'm not like actually inside the chat room, seeing what, you guys are talking about and all that stuff. So, shout out to Nick, man. Thanks a lot. And, Nick, and I know you have a session on Sunday. So guys, for you, all you guys that joined, remember Sunday, we have a session. So
You're
let's
welcome,
go ahead.
Susie.
Let's give Nick a big, warm thank you for everything he does for us, guys. Let's go.
Oh, Nick is gonna
Chahine.
go walk his dog. My dog is old, and he's like probably gonna punish me by doing something bad down there. You're welcome. This was fun. This was pleasure. I promise you that this is the air you're gonna get with 260, 290 people. So with you, we'll tip 300. Let's go. We'll tip 300 consistently. We've tipped it a few times.
Who will be the three? Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, man. Well, look, Nick, appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot. And, I'll see you Sunday, right?
Yep. I think we decided that I will do the homework. We won't have a session so people can have the day off, and I'll record it and I'll share it with everybody. But I still haven't decided. We'll see. Okay. See you.
Yep. All right, man. So, guys, there you go. That's Nic Chahine. I don't know what you guys are seeing in the screen. I think I'm sharing the chat room. I don't know. I hope I am sharing that. All right. Okay. So you guys see the chat room? Nice. All right, Sal. All right, folks. So I'm just going to show you a couple things, how I used it. I'll walk you through what happened today, man. It was a crazy day. I went from being down $24,000 to being up 12,000. I mean, it's what a crazy day, man. So, but it was a good one. What time is Nick on during the day? Tim, he's there all day, man. Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, like 8:30 actually, 8:30 to 5. So, he's always going to be there with you guys. He's there on Sundays as well. So you have him on Sundays. Wait, my screen's acting up again. Okay. All right. I think this is working now. All right. So as you can see, there's two channels there, right? Two channels. There's one called Nick's Important Messages, and there's another one called Inner Circle Chat. So the one that's called Inner Circle Chat is where everybody is in. Everybody's chatting there, including Nick. Sorry. And then you have Nick's Important Messages. Nick's Important Messages is where only Nick can post. Now you're going to find a lot of good stuff here, like, videos, trade ideas, setups, education, all that sort of stuff, right? Credit call spread, credit put spread, all that stuff, like videos, education, all that stuff. More importantly, I want you guys to know this link right here is where it takes you to the live session. That's where I was in today with Nick. That's where I did that trade, and all you guys were there in the chat room, so I'm not lying. And yeah, Gregory, it was oh man, I'll tell you, man, I was praying half of the day, dude, I swear. But I really, honestly, man, I just stuck to what Nick said. Instead of selling for a loss, I just held it. I'm like, all right, let's Nick knows what he's talking about. I held it. I literally sold. I had about 2,000 contracts that expired today that I bought. So for the Qs. So I sold literally all of them at 3:59 p.m. So I was 30% up on the trade around there. But look, that's just the way that I trade. I'm a directional trader, so that's just how I do it. There's people that trade other ways, man. So all right, guys, so I'm going to put in here the link. So if you guys have any questions or you want to join, feel free to do that. You do have a 7-day money back guarantee. Test it out. I mean, you could have literally traded with us today, made money, and gotten your money back and moved on with life. Just be a little more richer, right? But if you stay, it's going to be more often, right? That's really the goal here, right? Where you can actually learn. You can actually not just make good trades, but you actually can learn and get education, which is really, really like the most important part, right, of all this stuff. So, all right, so that's the this is the live room right now. You can see there's a chat room on the left side. This chat like opens up every time you open it up again. So like I can't scroll to the chats from earlier in the day. But all you guys that were there, I think Doc was there. I mean, I think all you guys were there, man. I even told you when I sold it, when I got, all that stuff. But quick shout out here to Tommy. Tommy, welcome to the family, my brother. Come on, let's go. All right, so we got Tommy in the house. We got so many new people here, so many new faces. Please come and trade with us. Just find out how good it is. Find out how good the community is. We got so many great traders there. Cypher. I mean, so many great folks out there, great individual traders that, really are there to help, right? It's like once you make like if you get in the chat room, let's say you make like, I don't know, 50,000, 20,000, I don't know, like you can make 1,000, 5,000. Once you make some like, that money, you kind of feel like you want it to be a better place, right? It's like where you work, like literally the chat room as traders is our workplace, right? That is our workplace. So we treat it as a workplace, right? With everything that you can think of, right? When it comes to that. So in that workplace, you obviously want to make sure that it's a good environment to work. It's a great environment to learn. It's a good environment to make money where everything is, or, we got our sessions during the day. That's when I see people really trying to give back to the chat room because they've made money out of the chat room. And at this point, it's like, well, they've made me so much money. They've helped me learn so much. And now I can do this with Nic all day. Not only am I writing free on the chat room, but I'm big on profits with it. So at that point, you kind of want to help back. You feel a little bit like, like you owe the chat room. I feel like I owe Nic a lot, man. Like like Nic is clutch all the time. Nic is clutch. So I feel like I owe him, stuff because of how much he's helped me with my trading for like about a year and a half. And today was like today has been the most helpful day. Like, I don't think, I don't know what I would have done without Nic today. Probably would have sold for a loss and, Kim, so the laptop is it's optional. If you don't want it, we won't send it, but it doesn't change the price. It's really more of a courtesy gift that we're adding. And I actually didn't even know we still had them. I thought we took them off. So if you see it there, it means that we still have them, at least for now. Good question there, Kim. Yeah, man, it's an intense day, Greg. Very intense. So, all right. So that is the live session, guys. That's where you can see all the stuff where Nic is talking and showing the trades, all that stuff. Right now, he's not there, so he's not sharing his screen. But when he is sharing his screen, he's going to be talking, showing his screen, showing the charts, doing all the stuff he does live with you. And he can answer you just like you are texting or whatever, messaging me in the chat. He can answer to you this same way. So you put a message, he responds to you like verbally, talking to you, or you can text. You can send him like a private message too. MD, how did you sell 359? So I went into my trading app and I sold all my contracts. That's all I did. Who bought it? I don't know. Whoever bought it made more money because I sold it at 359 and I was like up 30%. But those calls expired today. They expired literally like today, and I bought them today. So they were going to expire either out of the money or in the money. So that last rally we had, dude, it's it just really was amazing to see that. I don't know. And it kind of caught a lot of people off guard. It's such a push, very violent push to the upside. So I'm glad I didn't short today. But I have been shorted. I go both, I'll either go long or short, but I'll tell you, I don't do anything if I'm not in the chat room with Nic. I've learned my lessons already, to the point where it's like, I only trade, whenever it's like when I'm in the group, right? I don't just go out and just do random trades and stuff like that. I'm always trying to trade the same thing, like the markets in general, like the Qs in this case, which is kind of, tech, but that's really what I trade, man. That's what I like to do. And Nic, here's the thing. Here's really why I want to show you something cool. So I look at this every morning, right? I get into these chat rooms. Look, I'm busy here. Guys, I work a lot. I play like, 15 hours a day, that. But like in the morning before I actually like, work and stuff like that, I come into this chat room like every single morning. I'm not kidding. I come into the chat room and I come here and I check the Qs. So this is the NASDAQ. So what this means is that Nic does this every single day. Every single day. What does this mean? He'll chart the indexes every day in the morning and he'll post it pre-market, giving you a heads up of what is expected for the day. And he's got SPY, Qs, and all that stuff. No, it's not. It's just a normal. It's a free Google Chromebook. It's not like a special. All the Google's laptops have the same operating software, I think. Deborah, yeah, it is a pretty gutsy move. I know, but it paid off. So, all right. And basically, this is kind of what I look at in the morning. So I'm going to show you this a little bit. So you can see Nic literally labeled out all the resistance levels right there. So I waited till later in the day to trade when it hit about 306 around there. Well, not 306. I think it was like the Qs were consolidating for a little bit after they went up in the morning, like crazy. And that's kind of when I bought it, when it was like consolidating like that. So yeah, and you don't have to return the laptop, by the way. You can keep it, sell it, donate it. I mean, look, if you don't want the laptop, I'll tell you what to do with it. Go to the closest donation center for people that need it. Maybe go to someone that's, I don't know, homeless, needs help. If you want to help someone, give them this laptop, right? Do something nice with it. And like I don't know if you guys know about like the law of attraction. Like if you're like a good person, you have to like put out good energy everywhere. Like the universe gives it back to you. I swear to God. Like I gave somebody, like I went out last night and I gave somebody like a $50 tip, and I think this is maybe maybe that's the universe helping me back. The secret, you got it, Kim, right? The secret of life is the law of attraction. Yes, like that's literally what I go by like all my life. So yeah, I mean, maybe that's it. So do that, be a good person and just donate the laptop to somebody that really needs it. If it's not up to your standards, like give it to somebody that like genuinely needs it, either for their job or for their, going to school. Little kids in preschool don't have laptops. I mean, there's so much you could do with this. I don't want to make it about the laptop, but so do you remember? Right. So if you guys have questions, I'm going to put my email here and just email me. Obviously, keep in mind it's Friday. We're closed on the weekends. But you can email me and I'll probably go work at a cafe today or something. I got some more work to do. All right. So I put the email there on the Zoom chat. Who was the person just buying a cover? MD, I don't know. I mean, I sold my calls. I bought them and I sold them. I bought them in the morning and then I sold them at 3:59 p.m. on the dot. And I'm like, I'm trying to sell 2,000 contracts and it doesn't let me. It's like the minimum is 1,000 or the maximum is 1,000. So I have to like start breaking down the orders and things like it was just, But either way, I mean, I was able to get out of all those contracts. I've never bought that many contracts in my life. It's quite a lot. So MD, yes, always be a good person. That's really what it's all about. Don't let money change you, right? And do good things with it. So I put the link to join in the chat, guys, if you want. Does anyone tell you want to close trades? William, my call's expired today, brother. I'm not gonna exercise 2,000 QQQ contracts, man. Like that. I don't have that kind of money to buy. I don't even know how many shares that would be, like 200, 2,000 times 100. I don't, So that's why I sold them, because they expired today. Dude, they would have come, looking for me, dude, if they're trying to execute those contracts, like Weeble, But that's why I closed it before the end of the day, because I did it. But here's the thing actually even went up more. It went up even more, man. Like they expired today, but I bought them for today. I didn't buy them 7 days out or like I bought it short term, like 2 days short term, and literally the markets kept going up. Obviously, I'm not going to hold them, but hey, this was the rally. I was like, damn, it was God sent rally right there, man. Swear to God. So I don't know exactly what time it closed. Let's see if I can find the closing time here. What is it? What is it in this time? 16? No, it's 20. Should be. You see that? See that, guys? So I bought my calls right here, literally right here, 307. And, but I actually bought the triple levered one. So 3x volatility. So basically I bought this thing when it was like $32 around there. And my God, just, at the end right there. So I sold at the close and these things, I mean, this is still going higher. It's still going up. I mean, but I had to sell them because they expired today. Does that make sense? Like, that's why I sold them. And of course, I'm not trying to hold that much. Like, I day trade. I don't like holding anything overnight, especially in this market. Sometimes you get lucky, but I'd rather just trade the price action, like the daily price action. If it's going down, if I see it's a negative price action for the day, I'll probably make a short. I'll probably do something like that, buy a put on this or something. But if it's a good day, if it's like a very good day, a strong day, then I feel a little bit more confident going in, buying calls on the dip or something. But you also have a scanner here. By the way, I forgot to say this. This is a scanner that is only available to people. What is this, ultra short? This is a scanner that's only available to people that have the inner circle chat room. You won't find this thing anywhere in the world because we made it. So you guys have that access. You can see all that stuff there. If you want to trade stocks, go ahead and knock yourself out there. But look, Nick's favorite one is there, Upstart. So you can use it as you wish. It's a scanner. You have gainers, you have losers. Personally, I just trade the markets. But if you want to trade individual stocks, you can do that. All right. Let's see. Oh, there's sound alerts too. So if you do have this chat room open and you want this chat room to make like a pop noise whenever Nick is posting or the members are posting, you can turn it off. You can turn it on and off. Let me show you there. So you can click all channels here and look at the bells on the left side. Notice they're yellow. So if I click all, right, there's no yellow anymore and there's no notifications. If I click all, you see that bell turns yellow and there's like a pop noise whenever it someone's posting. But keep in mind, where I hang out with Nick is in this chat room that I'm showing you right now. In this one, that the Jitsi one, that's where I am with Nick. Like today, I was there during the time that I was trading, and I literally took Nick's advice. I mean, 100% honest. Like I took the trade, but Nick definitely saved me there from. So, all right, so you can see you have a chat room there and stuff, and you can go in and you can, talk there like, hey, Nick, whatever, you can ask him a question there, just like I did. He's not there right now, but he's going to answer you verbally, or he's going to message you, and you can also private message him as well. So you do have so much contact with Nick that you're probably just going to get bored, but he's there the whole day. Angela, I got you. I'll check my email in a bit. Just going to wrap up this. I think we're good. I don't think anybody has more questions. Sorry, just trying to still understand how the option buyer would have ended up positive on that end. I guess it wouldn't have been short. I mean, I wasn't short in today, MD. I was buying calls, not puts. But did Nick know you were going into that trade? No, I mean, he didn't. I literally went in and I'm like, Nick, I'm holding TQQQ $33 calls expiring today. And for you guys that were there, you guys saw it, like that I posted it there. And then I literally posted at the time when I sold it. I said, I sold it. I'm out. $12,000 for the day. I'm good. So Nick did not know I was in that trade. No, I literally just pop in whenever I'm in a trade. If I'm shorting or if I'm going long, whatever it is, I pop into the chat room, but I'm also seeing what the sentiment is, how Nick is looking at the markets that day. So if Nick's bullish, then I'm probably bullish too for the day. All right, so let me put the link here again, guys, one more time. And if you got questions, email. That's we're gonna put it in the chat. And have a great week. Stay safe. Do some research. Go read the news or something so you can stay up to date on what's happening. Maybe we get a gap up Monday. Maybe we get a gap down Monday. Who knows? But have an open mind. We could be wrong many times, and we have to acknowledge that as traders. So put your ego aside and just have an open mind about trading. Have an open mind about it, where that if it goes, if you're right, you're right. but don't be too greedy, right? With anything like that. And if you're wrong, acknowledge it and either take the other side of the trade or, take the lesson, but always take the lesson, right? Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, these past, I mean, for the past 2 weeks, I made like about maybe $55,000 in in the chat room with Nick. So I've been doing pretty well these past 2 weeks. It's my best week trading. And I hang out in the chat room. That's what I do. And there's a ton of traders there that have made so much more money that I know. And there's people there that got, $1 million accounts and stuff. It's a great community. That's all I can tell you. I will try it out. Like there's a 7-day money back guarantee for a reason, for you to try it out and test out the waters, right? You see the chat room, you see what we're doing. We're talking about trading options. That's literally what we're here for. That's the whole point of this thing, If you want to do that, if you want to join a community, you want to trade with us, do it. There's no reason why you can't join, right? We have a 7-day money back guarantee. You can try it out. You get a free laptop and you're with Nick the whole day. So use it however you want. If you want to join for the education, you can do that. I know people that have joined just for the education. So like they're not even trading. There's people that are not even trading. They're just trying to learn, So that's the thing. You sometimes have to if you can make this an educational thing if you want, right? And what I mean is that if you want to come in to just learn, you can do that. If you want to come in here to trade, you can do that. If you want to come here to trade and learn, you can do that too, right? But I really think you should be part of a community. I don't think that you should be trying to trade on your own by yourself. As I've done it. I blew up my account twice when I started trading. I'm not shy to say it. I'm pretty open about it because it helps us as traders to kind of move past that and understand that you can make mistakes that can cost you a lot in trading. So it's important to always have that open mind and having that community that's there. Like people were telling me that, like in the chat room, whenever right about to close, like, all right, guys, everybody's telling each other like, hey, book your profits, book your profits. Like we're constantly reminding ourselves to book profits and take the money while you have it. Market's pretty volatile and obviously everybody takes their own risk, but it's just good to have that sort of friendliness environment around you. I can't tell you today how important being in this chat room was for me, money wise. So if you are in a situation where maybe you've been losing money trading, maybe you're starting to trade, you're trying to get into it, or you're trying to learn how to do it, right? Because you want to make the money, period. Give it a shot. I mean, I don't see why you shouldn't try it. I just don't really see why you shouldn't try it. It's a great team that we have there. Nick is amazing. He's been helping me for about like a year and a half. It's not like, he doesn't give me tutoring or nothing like that, but I've been here at Benzinga for about a year and a half. And I don't know, somewhere around there. And he's been like my mentor. He's been like my guide with options, right? He's been the person that I've learned from everything when it comes to calls, puts. I'll show you what I mean. Literally, these videos, like you could be starting today and you want to rush to make money. I get it, but don't rush too fast. Like at least go through some stuff, like videos like this that Nick has. And these are for all the lead. No, it's different. This is better. Inner circle is better. Inner circle is the best. That's what you need to get, the inner circle. That's all I'm going to say. Get the inner circle. You get more. You get more, Lee. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. So these are the videos that I saw when I was starting out trading, right? Like, for example, what are options? What are puts? Okay, the basic stuff. I'm telling you, when I started trading, I didn't even know what the hell a bid was. Like the bid and the ask, like just give me a damn price. I didn't understand how, like, but little by little, you'll start catching things on. But I'll tell you, if I would have been part of a community from day one when I started trading, I probably wouldn't have blown up my account twice. I probably would have, I think I'd probably be even better off right now trading. But it's never too late to start. It's never too late to get education, right? It's never late. It's late. It's always late to not get it. It's always late to not get the education. But you're never too late to start. So even if you've been having a bad week, month, year, you can change that around. You can totally change it around. But I'm telling you, the first step is being part of a community. That is, there will be bigger, greater things that will come out of that. But everything is all part of the community, right? We all help each other out. We all trade together. We have fun in the chat room. We crack jokes and stuff. And, we keep it chill. I mean, you tell me you can make $12,000 in a chat room in a day. So and you still have fun in the chat room, and you still look, and I'm not, like, that's like drug dealer money doing like so so when you're trading, you can make some pretty good money. It's true. You can change where you are right now, and that's really what I'm trying to get at, right? If you do want to improve your financial situation, if that's really where you're trying to get at, I assume, I would hope so, that we always try to better ourselves economically, right? Especially in these times when there's a huge hiring freeze in tech right now, and it. I mean, I don't have to tell you, things are looking kind of bad. So if you're able to make money and do that, not just in, I mean, in these times, but with everything that's going on and inflation and higher rates, and you're paying 3 times as much to fill up your gas tank, and you're paying 5 times more to buy basic food, and it's just, I would consider this like as a help thing, where if you do want to not feel like a victim, where it's like, oh man, everything around me is so bad and I can't do anything about it. Well, you can actually do something about it. You can join this chat room, you can trade with us, give it a shot for 7 days. Literally, try it out. I showed you my PN. I showed you literally how much I made on my phone and everything. So and I trade on Webull, so it's obviously on my phone. And I've literally been showing you guys all my trades here that that I've been making in the chat room for like the past 2 weeks. You've seen it. I made like 30K last week in a trade. So when you're part of a community, greater things are going to come. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. There are things that the community, I guess, is like the building block, because everybody there working together. Just imagine, it's like you got like 300 traders in a room. Like it's like having a little fun there, a little mini fun there, and you got like all these traders, the brokers on the phone trying to close stuff. So like in this case, we have about 300 traders in real time executing trades with us in the chat room. And if you're new, I think it's going to be good that you hang around traders. That's really, I mean, you kind of, I think it's a good idea for you to do it. So hey, Michael, I would join, brother. I would join Nick's room, man, because I know how it feels. It sucks to look, man. It's all I'm gonna say is that if you do want to turn things around, if maybe your trading hasn't been going the way you've been wanting to, try something different. Get help. Like get help from Nick. Like why not get help? Put your ego aside. Seriously, like why wouldn't you want help? I don't know who wouldn't want help to become a better trader and make more money. I mean, if you don't like money, that's fine. You shouldn't even be watching this at all if you don't, but if you really want to make money and trade and be successful as a trader, I'm telling you that you should join the chat room, because we do that. We trade every day. We're there all day with Nick, and you can always ask him questions about the stocks you have, about picks that you have. Like today, I asked him, Nick, do you think we're going to have a further rally? He said, I don't know. We could. It is possible. And then as the day goes, as the time was passing by, he's doing the charting with you live. So he's like, okay, it looks like we're building some support at this level and such and such. And it just really helps out a lot, man. It just helps out a lot, Paul, how do you join? Well, you have to click on the link. Michael, I cannot, unfortunately. This is the only price that we have. This expires at midnight. So if you're not able to get in by midnight, the price is going to go back to your full price is $6,000 for the chat room, and right now we have a 70% off, so it's $1,782 for the year with the laptop. So at midnight, after midnight, it's going to go to 2,500. So I would suggest that you join the chat room before it goes up at midnight, and if you have questions, you can email me. Keep in mind, it's already like 8 p.m. and we're closed. But you see it there, Paul? Let me post it there for you, brother. 1 second. I think I've showed you everything in the chat room. I don't know. I'm happy for you too, MD. Thanks for the good wishes. But I just thank Nick, really. That's all the person I got to thank right now. All right, I'm posting the link there. I'm posting my email, guys. If you have any last questions, let me know, because I'm about to close this thing. Let me know if you got questions right now. Close this thing and get on with some other stuff. Shireen, send me an email. Yes, till midnight. It's going to be 70% off until midnight. Nick has been trading for about 20 years. Yeah, good question there. Everybody gets the laptop. Everybody gets it. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple people that have, more than I mean, I'm not going to tell you who they are, obviously, but I do know a lot of traders here in Benzinga and stuff that have some pretty fat accounts. And they're really good traders. They're really, really good traders. So, and what chat room you think they are in? They're in the Nic Chahine chat room right here. Nick is back on Sunday, MD. That's right, but he's not coming to YouTube. It's only going to be for the members. So we have those meetings from 10 to 10 a.m. till like noon. So 2 hours. So yeah, we do that for Sunday. Every Sunday we do that. So 10 a.m. till noon. Let me just post something here really quick for you guys before I wrap it up here, man. What a crazy day. And there were a lot of people that made a ton of money too in the chat room with Nick. Is mainly the chat on this price. So the regular price of the chat room is $6,000, Raul, but we have a 70% off, which is like the Memorial Day special, so it's 70% off till midnight, but it's not going to go back up to 6,000 tomorrow. It's going to go back up to 2,500. Right now it's 1,782, which is 70% off. I literally made like what? Well, just today, man, I've made like 5 years of the chat room. So this chat room has paid off more than me. And I'll tell you, before I joined Benzinga, I was a user of the stuff, of the trade alerts and things like that. So this chat room has like paid for itself so much. I mean, I can't even do the math at this point. So yes, MD, Sundays, 10 a.m. Eastern till noon. Let's see, Raul, is mainly the chat on this price? What do you mean? The mainly chat on the price. Does it include alerts? Yeah, it includes alerts, brother. You're gonna get a lot of stuff. You guys are gonna get something when you join that I haven't even told you about, but you're getting it as a courtesy. Like that's how I am. Remember, secret of life, law of attraction, baby. Okay, I'm hooking you up. You don't even know it. All right, but you're already getting hooked up if you join. You'll see it once you join. It's gonna say that you got the options inner circle chat room, and you're gonna see that you got two other things. That was my little gift. I wasn't gonna say anything, but everybody that joins today will get it. So when you join in the post checkout page, you will see that it will say like what you have. It'll say options inner circle chat room, and then it's going to say two other things. Okay, I'm not going to say them here, but you know what? You'll see it if you get it, right? So yeah, and the alerts, Raul, those are the alerts in the chat room are all day. Like Nick is talking the whole day, so I mean he is the alert. Like Nick is the alert. So, all right, I think we kind of covered everything. What a great session, guys. I really want to thank you guys for being here, for being part of the team and everything. All you guys that were in the chat room, shout out to you guys. You know what we're doing in the chat room. For you guys that are members, you already know. So, but if you want to know, you can join too, right? No problem. No, we haven't made a decision about when we're going to stop accepting people in the chat room so far. We're about maybe more than 300. I know there's way more than 300 people, but it's like 300 people that are live in the chat room, but there's more. I think there's thousands of people, but as far as like the people that are live in the chat room, I think it's like 300-ish. I think it's been higher than that sometimes. Let's see. All right. Yeah, man. So again, guys, this is just going to be till midnight. 1782 is the only price we have right now, and tomorrow it goes up again, but I'm not going to be able to help you tomorrow or Sunday. I mean, if there's a special circumstance, then email me, because I don't want to get in trouble, but just email me and I'll see if I can help you out. But like, this is like on the checkout, it's going to change at midnight. I'm letting you know. So it's going to have, just call me if you got questions, email me. You got my info there. All you guys are getting hooked up if you join. Again, you'll see it there. And thanks a lot, guys, for being here. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Go ahead and, go out for a walk and then come back. And when you come back, you get back to your research, to your trading, education, go through what's happening out there, get a feel for the markets, and join the room. I'm telling you that if you are trading alone and you're doing it by yourself, you're doing it all wrong, man. You're doing it all wrong. So join the team. I look forward to seeing you in the chat room. I look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday as well, because we have that meeting with Nick. And have a great weekend, guys. Stay safe. We'll see you guys around.
I'm letting the dark. It's time to tie you up, baby. It's time. one I love. When I look into your eyes, I see no sign.